Jing 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 dun 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 dun. We have no sound. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the special Christmas edition of Midnight's Edge After Dark. We know you've been naughty. We know who's been nice, and really, you're getting the same shit. We don't care, really. Just it doesn't make a difference. I'm of course your narrator, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo Claus, and with me from Shabby Road Studios, from the heart of the North Pole, with us as always is Tom Connors Claus.
Merry Christmas! How's it going, everybody?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, there you go. With us as always is Mecha Random Claus.
Hello.
And how are we doing today, Mecha Random?
That sounds like something you have to sign before you go on a date with her.
Yeah.
The Mecha Random Claus, yes.
Yeah, the Mecha Random Claus. What would that be? What would I want? What would I demand on a date?
Okay, we have a dinner of $50 minimum on the dinner. Okay, drinks and appetizers, that's extra. So it depends, And with us once again, is Mr. Tyler Bioshock Claus.
Like, hello, my name is Tyler Bioshock Rodriguez, but you can call me Bio because I'm a silly, goofy fuck.
And Ben.
And we gotta say hello and Merry Christmas to all the people. Oh, you introduced yourself, didn't you, Rob? Or no, you wait. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, I already did. Yeah, I introduced everybody. Hey, everybody! Merry Christmas to everyone out there.
We got Richard Poole. We got OG Spock Love. We got Secret Rebel. We got who else? We got in the chats here? Natasha Cloutier. We got all kinds of great people joining us.
And even if you're not celebrating Christmas, we welcome you just the same. We all creeds.
Billy Barnett.
Yeah, Billy Barnett.
666.
Everybody.
J 3.0. Roger Brown. Yeah, I know. It's surprising we're on time, guys. I'm sorry.
As they told me at work all day this morning, say Merry Christmas unless they say they're Jewish, which case, whatever. Okay, not really, but I did say at one point Happy Kwanzaa and expect to be punched in the face.
Filthy animals.
So, okay. I'm glad everybody's...
I had to put it in chat. I couldn't just say it because I don't want to insult people. I thought.
Oh, you didn't say I
put it in chat, yeah.
I didn't see it until now.
Mecca, you've insulted tons of people already. You're really not going to gain much.
I know.
Oh, we're almost hitting 50 viewers here.
Yes, we're glad. We're glad people are taking time out of their day actually to celebrate with us. And if you're like me, you running here to get away from certain people. So
Eduardo Fregoso says Merry Christmas from Texas. Well, Merry Christmas to Texas. And Kush says I'm not great, but I'm here nonetheless. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. He says, haha, I'm fine. Oh, he's fucking with us.
Well, Merry Christmas from Ohio. You shot my ancestors 200 years ago, but I'll respect you still.
Okay. So let's see.
Bygones be bygones.
Yes. So other than electroshocking Ryan Johnson back into
which looks fun.
Yes.
I want to put the plug in on that baby.
Did we crucify him? It looks like it.
We should be.
Actually, just like Cartman, he's been crucified for our sins.
For the sins against.
Shut it up, guys. Seriously.
For the sins against cinema. That's why he should be crucified.
I can't feel my butthole.
Yeah. So guys, what are we here to talk about tonight?
I don't know.
Christmas.
I'm just laughing my ass off at the picture though, because
I suggested Tom use GIMP, and we are seeing the benefits of that now.
Yeah.
So his next episode, he's going to be the GIMP from Pulp Fiction.
Bring out the GIMP.
Bring out the Ryan.
GIMP's asleep. Well, then wake him.
Is it
you wake him by using Twitter comments about The Last Jedi.
Oh, Lord.
He sleeps and he goes, someone has said something negative about my movie. I must go online Twitter about it now.
Well, it's kind of like a year in review. Let's just kind of
A Day in the Life.
Yeah, that too. A Beatles song,
I talked about movies more than I actually saw them this year.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah,
same here.
Same here. I saw like 2 movies this year.
I think somebody asked me like my top 10, and I don't think I saw 10 movies this year in the theater. And I was like scrolling through everything that was released, and I'm like, I didn't see anything.
I could do a top 10 list maybe if we counted stuff I saw on TV that was from this year.
Yeah.
I saw. Okay, well,
I could do top 10 of stuff I wanted to see that I never got around to.
yeah, I never got around to seeing Black Panther.
No, you didn't. You cracker.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, Nihilus wants to know if Old Man Picard is in the house.
Where? In the house? What house? Whose house?
In Counselor Troy's house.
That's a rumor. No proof.
You mean that there's nothing to that story about you pouring lemonade on her face?
No, I just made her feel real good.
Oh, okay. Did you motorboat those, or did you?
Well, of course.
He's watching that episode where she's in like a gymnastics suit doing like aerobics next to another woman.
next to Beverly Crusher.
That was a Beverly Crusher, remember name.
Now,
I still to this day don't understand that scene, but goddamn if I don't hit rewind 20 times while
she's
watching.
She's Greek, and let's just say the island of Lesbos. Why not?
Yes. Old Man Picard. Now, there were rumors about you and Counselor Troy and Dr. Crusher all having Beverly, yes, all having a secret tryst. And can you confirm or deny those?
I could neither confirm or deny those rumors, but I will say this: I've crushed that Beverly a few times.
Oh, you have? Oh, wow, we're getting some regulation.
Crushed her heart, of course.
Are you talking about that time that like they were all exercising together and like stretching and pulling and tugging?
There's always tugging and pulling and stretching.
I distinctly remember them being really close together, almost in a scissor formation.
Yes, and we all know what that means, don't we?
They like to cut things.
Yes, it means they like to cut things. Yes, they're actually they're measuring patterns and they're cutting fabric together.
It cuts my tension.
Well, oh, actually, I was watching. Speaking of scissoring, I was watching movie Bob, and he was talking about Into the Spider-Verse and about how
it was
scissoring timbers
because it gives you a paper cut.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, movie Bob was talking about
1,000 cuts, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, movie Bob was talking about Into the Spider-Verse, and he was saying about how Doc Ock says, "Oh, my friends call me Liv," and then Aunt May, who looks suspiciously like Amy Pascal, says when they're ready to have that brawl at Aunt May's house, "Oh, great, it's Liv." And she's saying, "Oh, are they hinting that Aunt May had a relationship with the female Doc Ock?"
No.
They're not that clever, okay? That's
it's more so they're probably setting it up that Aunt May has like some history where she was like a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some shit.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Amy Pascal probably doesn't like lesbians.
Lesbian seagulls.
And this is a time where Mecca, do you have an Amy Pascal voice or?
What does she sound like? I have no idea. She was
Who's the old?
She sounds like she's had one too many to drink and way too many pills.
She sounds like she smoked a cigar while drinking.
Smoked a cigar and she says like, honey,
that's my voice I do for her. But.
It's not that far off.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think you guys would probably do better. Old lady smoking voices. I have like 2 voices. I can do like Valley Girl and then me, and that's about it. And they're not too dissimilar.
Rivers727, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, "Oh my Aunt May, scissor me timbers."
Yeah, they're like I said, they're not that clever.
You don't want that scissoring on that Aunt May, believe me.
No, on the Marissa Tomei Aunt May, okay, I'm down with that. On this Aunt May, cute. No. No.
Maybe even Sally Field.
No.
Sally Field.
You like her? You really, really like her?
I like her well enough. She's a good actress. I like her. I saw Steel Magnolias. Yeah.
I guess you haven't seen that Oscar speech. Never
I
mind.
saw that Oscar
Oh
speech.
God, what speech?
Well,
She won an
gets up-
Oscar and she
You
goes,
like
"You like
me."
me? You really,
Oh,
really
that
like
speech.
me."
Oh, the one that was really kind of forced. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That was only like number 3 on like the
I
worst.
thought it was
Oscar list.
adorable.
Well, I don't know. I
Very-
go back and forth. And frankly, it's only 3rd on the worst Oscar list. Number 1 was the one George Clooney that inspired the South Park episode.
And what'd she win for? That one movie
Norma Ray?
yeah, that one. Yeah, I was gonna say the one
It's
where
better than Anne Hathaway's, where she tried to act like, "Oh, I can't believe I won. I'm so humble. I'm so humble," and it was not.
did she
Yeah.
create a smug cloud like George Clooney?
Like I said, that was the number 1 worst Oscar speech, and that created a South Park episode because of how bad it was.
Which is funny because they're like buddies with him too.
I know he was in the South Park movie.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Kitty too.
Did you ever respond to that?
I think he thought it was funny.
Okay, he has a good sense of
I
humor.
think
then.
if I remember right on the commentary for it, they said that they talked to him afterwards, and of course he's got a good sense of humor. So
Yeah.
same thing
Patrick
with
Holland.
Matt Damon, same thing because I guess they were buddies with him. He's like, I don't understand why they did that, but then if you listen to the commentary, it's just because basically, and this is not my words, quote unquote, the doll came out looking retarded. So, so that's why they did that.
Yes. Route 66 is wishing me Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry
Route
Christmas.
66.
And Tylon Ranger as well. Tyon. How do you say that? Tyon? Tyon?
I think it's Tylon. I think you misspelled it.
I don't know. How do you misspell your own name, man? That's
Mary
not,
Well, Mary Highland says hot Aunt May is overrated. Who's Ray? Is there-
overrated. That I can see is a misspelling. But Patrick Olinger wants to know if we've seen Aquaman. Rob and I haven't, but Mecca has. You haven't seen it yet, Tyler, have you?
Oh no, I saw the trailer for it for Wreck-It Ralph 2, and that was enough for me.
Well, Mecca hasn't seen a lot of the other DC films, but she enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
Did you like it because Amber Heard is basically you?
Is she?
She has bright red hair.
There's more people in the color of their hair. No, I was happy that she wasn't like super annoying.
Oh, name me more people that have red hair beside that and Ariel.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman,
He
Oh,
says
yeah.
it's Tyon.
Julianne Moore. I love Julianne Moore. Oh my god, I love Julianne Moore.
But no, Aquaman was fun. It was like very much one of those like it was like a whole lot of stuff crammed into one movie, of course, but it was fun. It was like you had the kind of almost Arthurian sort of legend stuff. You had kind of Indiana Jones quest stuff here and there, but it was all pretty well paced, and it kind of felt like a 12 episode TV show in a lot of ways. So I enjoyed it, and of course Jason Momoa is basically playing Ronan from Stargate.
The best I
Again.
got was the Red Letter Media video where they keep calling Patrick Wilson Bible Man.
Yeah. I kept thinking of him as from his character from The Conjuring. What's his name? Warren, Ed Warren.
Ed Warren, yeah.
So I keep thinking, I'm like, okay, it's Ed Warren. It's Ed Warren. So apparently, they have the Annabelle doll as like a cameo in there somewhere in like the giant trash pile because there's like a
I'm
giant
not
trash
surprised. It is James Wan.
I didn't see it though, but it was fun.
I always look at him and go, "Oh yeah, Patrick Wilson. He was the guy from Bone Tomahawk and Fargo season 2."
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
picked a TV show about Minnesota and a cannibal movie in the West. Yeah, weird.
It works. No, I liked it. It was fun. I think a lot of women like there's one thing I'm hearing a lot of like between a lot of like the female sort of reviewers of the movie that a lot of them are going because Jason Momoa is hot. And
So it's Sons of Aquamonarchy. Or
Why is it okay for them to do
Tyon
that?
is
But if we say, I'm going to go because Amber Heard is hot, they're going to kick your ass.
well, to
You
be
are
fair,
such a sexist bastard.
it's like the women in like the fandom menace who went to see it. So like Jessie Milestone and I think Anna, that Star Wars girl. I think they enjoyed it too, from what I saw.
I think the big thing with it is there's no real expectation going in. First of all, anything to this point DC's done in the last few years, they could fart for like 20 minutes in the movie and everybody be like, well, it's better than the last one. And, it's like, there's never been any Aquaman anything really before to compare it to.
No,
So
no,
it
no.
kind of has the same
will not
thing that Wonder
discount
Woman
the-
does.
You will
Yeah.
not discount the masterpiece that was James Cameron's version.
Hey, That was a masterpiece.
Starring Vinny
Only the
Chase.
first one though. The second and third one I didn't like. Yeah,
Fuck the-
because they
fuck
didn't
the-
have
fuck
Vinny.
the fourth
in 'em.
one.
They didn't have Vinny in them, so
Special effects became too important. No one talked about the story anymore.
well, that was because Cameron was too worried about Avatar.
Yeah, that was
I
the
used to
best
like-
storyline.
I used to like Entourage. I really did.
The movie was
I
awful.
love that show. I didn't mind the movie that much. My only issue with the movie was it felt like one of those reunion movies on TV.
Like
know
American
what I
Pie
mean?
reunion.
Where it's like, yeah, it's cool to see everybody back together, but they pick some just nonsense story to kind of hang a movie on that didn't really have any oomph to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just recently they announced they're doing a Downton Abbey movie. I bet your ass are gonna do that same thing where it's just gonna be 2 hours people walking around saying that thing, you know.
Well, is it going to be people from the movie or from the show, or is it going to be a reboot movie? I wasn't clear on what I.
It's gonna be the
heard
show
about it.
because Maggie Smith's
okay.
coming back, so she'll be like
all right.
200 and still complaining about other minorities.
Because I mean, I'm not a fan or anything. I heard about it and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're actually rebooting the whole thing or if it's just going to be a movie of the show. So
I kind of like it as a show. I'm not gonna lie.
well, I've heard things about it. It's not
It's-
like I'm going to.
It's a soap opera, pretty much. It's a really fancy British soap opera.
That's right, Beehive Jones. Vincent Chase is the only Aquaman. Fucking Jason
There
Momoa.
was a, let me tell you, there was a great episode of Entourage where Drama was trying to bang Lisa Rinna. This is back before she mutilated herself with too much plastic surgery, and Turtle was along for the ride because Lisa Rinna had a friend who was kind of a middle-aged woman, not nearly as attractive. I hate saying that about someone, but it turned out, he kept saying, "Don't blow this for me, Turtle. I've been waiting for years for this." And it turns out Lisa Rinna ended up banging Turtle, and Drama, and ended up getting banged by the less attractive friend. I was like, "Ooh, that's gotta hurt." Oh man, it was just like so funny to watch, like Drama. It's just like, "Oh no, wait, no!" It's like, "Oh god."
How
What's
ugly
cool
we
in the
talk-
movie, at least, is they get to meet their counterparts,
Yeah,
their real life counterparts.
How ugly we talking here?
Well, no, she wasn't ugly. She was just like a typical kind of middle-aged woman,
The full Meg Ryan we talking?
No. So like a suburban kind of mom,
I remember the episode, but I can't remember who it was or anything. But yeah, Dynamo 75. I have not. I don't think any of us have seen Bumblebee
Nope.
yet.
No. They're talking. This may be the end of the franchise. This one bombed so
I think
hard.
that's
Which is sad because
might
I've heard
go
good things
tomorrow.
about it. Yeah, I've heard good things about it though.
I'm gonna start saying, is this Travis Knight's career? He's gonna make really good movies that nobody sees that flops because that's what
Could
happened
be.
with Kubo.
Could be. That happens to people sometimes.
He'll be fine though. His dad's the guy who founded Nike.
Wish I had that kind of money.
right.
Yes, I know.
Oh, speaking of people's dads, is Rodney Rothman related to Tom Rothman?
Let me check.
He's one of the directors on Into the Spider Curse.
That would make so much sense.
That would make sense. Oh, Rodney, I'm gonna get you a
Not
directing
likely.
job. You're gonna be directing this new Spider-Man movie.
Because
You know, that-
Rothman's married to what's her face. Jesus Christ, just lost her name. Remember, Mecca? I told you that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper. Thank you. I think it was Jessica something. I come on to say Jessica Lange though. Like no, not Jessica Lange. The other one.
Rodney Rothman wrote for The Late Show with David Letterman.
Really?
Yeah, from 1995 to 2000.
Wow. That's
I
going
doubt
way
they're
back.
related.
Yeah,
Maybe-
I'm
maybe
not seeing it.
Maybe it's his brother,
Doubtful.
Tom Rothman.
Just because they have the same name, Rob, does not mean they're related.
What do you mean? He's a mensch that the Rodney Rothman, Oh my god.
Well, Tom
Oh.
Rothman does have a brother named John Rothman.
We haven't heard from Tom in such a long time. How you been, Tom?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I'm just here. I'm collecting money now that everything at Sony's doing well, and I got some really good projects coming up in the future.
Huh.
How's
This
that
time-
sale to Apple going?
Oh, let me tell you, I love apples. I love the apples. It's good for you. Very good for you. Lot of fiber in apples. It keeps me nice and regular.
You're gonna love this. We actually know who John Rothman is. He was in Ghostbusters, the original.
Oh my word, he was?
He
Oh,
was, He was the
What?
library administrator at the very beginning of the movie.
Why didn't he ever tell me
What's
this?
that got to do with it?
Huh? John,
What I did
why
there.
did
Yeah,
are
I know,
you
I saw it.
keeping things from me? Oh my, we're family. You shouldn't be ashamed of things we do. We shouldn't have secrets.
Back off, man. I'm a writer.
Oh my Wade. Oh my.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
Willie Woodward, Merry Christmas to you as well.
Well, I gotta go now. Amy's calling me. You don't want to upset her. Yeah, I might have to give her another foot rub. Ugh, the bunions on that woman. Oh, jeez.
Patrick Ollinger is asking Rob, do you think Carmen Electra is hot?
Do I think Carmen Electra is hot?
Yeah.
Alex, I hate the Tom Rothman impression. Just a shitty Alice impression. Alice. It's supposed to be Woody Allen, really.
Alice.
Alice.
Who the fuck is Alice? See
in
what
Wonderland?
Alice.
Restaurant?
Alice? Who the fuck is Alice?
I was saying, what is he? Oh, does he think you're trying to be the Mad Hatter?
Oh, God, that'd be the... Which
Oh,
version?
my goodness.
Oh, Ed Wynn version.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's Ed Wynn. That's far from...
Johnny Depp. Ugh.
Well, I meant far from Tom... well, not Tom Rothman.
okay.
Woody Allen, but yeah, you know what I meant.
If we want to turn this into a hate train, I can just talk about how I just freaking hate those Alice in Wonderland movies.
Somebody just had a question for me. I'm like, I can't find it now. Oh, do I think Carmen Electra is hot? I did think she was hot. I haven't seen her lately. She was,
She's
back
electrifying.
Yes. Let me take a look what she looks like now. I'm like, Carmen.
Probably decent.
Yeah, I
She's
wouldn't
held
doubt-
up.
I think she. Oh yeah, she's still very pretty.
I've got chills. They're
And they're
Carmen
multiplying?
electrifying.
Let me see what she looks like in 2018.
That was bad even for me.
Kind of a bad hair color though.
I wonder if Netflix, when they were casting that Carmen Sandiego show, went, "Why don't we get Carmen Electra?" It's like,
Oh,
no.
yeah. Still, oh yeah, she's still very, very, very attractive. Let me see if we can open this in a new window. Let me see if we screen share that. Hold on, shit. Okay, still very, very attractive woman. If I'm allowed to say that these days.
No, you're not, Rob. We've gotten about 20 complaints in the last 5 seconds.
She's still very attractive.
I'm pretty sure you have to be ousted from the country by now.
So okay, yes, yeah. So yes, she's still very attractive.
She's looking a lot like Lindsay Lohan with the way
Yeah,
her-
she is.
I know.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well,
That is
you know
kind of
it
an
is.
insult to her.
The
Yeah.
hair-
No, I mean it's like they have the same plastic surgeon and hairstylist.
That's either A, she looks like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah,
or
she looks
B,
like she had a
like
little bit better plastic surgery than Lindsay did.
Yeah, a
she's
little
had-
less fish lips.
She's had some work done, but she hasn't gone overboard on it.
Hopefully not.
OG
OG
personally.
Spock Club, I have to tell you this. We had to make an HR department just to deal with Rob's harassment.
Oh,
Claims.
gee,
You know, so
I've just been here a few days and I'm already gotten a few complaints.
we've had to warn you as well.
I know. He said, okay, make sure he doesn't ever grab you and make sure
Don't
your
go in a
grass is-
room alone with Rob.
Yeah,
Mm.
And when he says, "Let's just go play some video games," that doesn't mean play video games.
I mean, we're playing Strip Madden. That's what we're doing.
That's right.
Yes.
His 21 card pickup is not the same as 21 card pickup.
Is Strip
Mhm.
Madden anything like sports ball?
Yes, it is.
Do you
It
even know what
entails sports balls and other balls. Yes.
does it mean? Okay, I'm imagining John Madden stripping, and I don't want this image in my head now.
Boy, those pants just hit the floor like you know when you hit the floor.
She's age appropriate for Rob. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Hey Rob, who's more pretty, Carmen Electra or Megan Fox? Megan Fox. I call her the walking real doll. So I mean,
Same acting talents of.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, a real doll won't actually call you Hitler, so no.
That's true.
Megan Fox seems like the type of woman who takes advantage of her looks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, I
You
mean,
think?
most women do, but I mean, like, seriously.
Like in an obnoxious way, though.
Yes, thank you.
The best one ever said about her was the Honest trailer, where they said she has the looks of a professional porn star and the acting of an amateur porn star.
Oh.
Oh!
We get lumps of coal, says Richie Poole.
I'm getting a bag of Kingsford charcoal. Jeez.
Better than lumps of shit.
These are cook a steak.
Say
with it.
coal's expensive.
Yeah.
Is it clean coal? I only accept clean coal. Did you
Yeah,
wipe
you-
it off?
You could at least
Yeah.
like use it to light a barbecue or something, light your grill.
And
You know
Southern-
what clean coal is, okay? You take coal and you wipe it down, you clean it, all right?
you know what's sad? Like Southern Ohio is dominated by a guy named Bob Murray who's big into clean coal. So
Yeah.
that guy.
Bob Murray. Okay, we don't want to talk too much politics on this show, but Bob just.
I hear it makes a great steak.
All I gotta say is Bob Murray's an asshole. So
A squirrel told him to get coal from the mountains.
What?
I'm not making that up. He flat out said that once. Like a squirrel went up and told me to get the coal from the ground, and I obliged him, and now I'm a rich man.
Where is this squirrel?
Probably shot dead, mounted.
Oh,
Poor squirrel.
I used to have a squirrel feeder in my yard, and it drew squirrels in all over the place. There were like dozens of them grabbing
Wasn't that
peanuts out
kind
of
of
it.
the point?
Yeah, it was kind of the point, but it said that's at some point they were digging up all the like the plants and stuff. I said that's it. Sorry guys, no.
There's a reason why
more.
most people don't want a lot of squirrels in their yard. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are
Speaking of-
technically a rodent kind of.
Speaking of propane and propane accessories, I saw Hank Hill's new TV show. It's pretty good on HBO.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got a new TV show, or you mean
Yeah.
Mike Judge's new show?
It's the same person. It's the one where he's like interviewing rock stars, but he has it animated in like a vaguely Archer kind of style.
Yeah, I think I've seen a preview for it, but I dropped HBO. So
It's really good and funny. Not James Brown. It's like had someone like that on tonight. It was pretty good.
Yeah, Doomcock does a great Hank Hill impression. Well, I'll tell you what, them boys is out there worshiping Satan. So, there's a bad egg, I'll tell you. I don't want no devil worshiping rock and rollers in my house. Oh, get these boys out there. You need to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I don't know.
It's funny. Kids nowadays are not going to get that joke, but oh man, the 80s were a mess.
Ugh.
but
yeah,
they were fun.
they were.
I miss the
I
80s.
meant by the satanic panic, the point where the
Oh
government
yeah.
had manuals where it's like, this is what Satanism looks like when it's like, no, for the love of God, really?
Hail Satan!
D&D will kill people. D&D will kill people.
Yeah. Oh, they were blaming that. Like, yeah, I remember all that. I think that probably turned more kids into like fake devil worshippers. Just
The
because, just to
music is
rebel.
making the children bad. Okay.
Hello, Misa. Hello, Lisa Myring.
Super cereal.
Do you guys know Wendy O. Williams? Yes, I do, from the Plasmatics.
Oh yeah.
She used to work actually in an animal shelter up in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, I believe, for a time in my neck of the woods.
God, I just remember the first time I saw her was in Reform School Girls
Y-
on USA
yeah.
Up All Night. Yeah, like she was awesome, and I didn't know she was like also a singer. But you know, that first Plasmatics album still holds up. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, there was that whole LA punk scene, the Plasmatics, Exene Cervenka, John Doe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any news helping my friend Rose's mom get her computer working? Michael Random. She's
Don't change your name to
any
Rose.
news. Well, we were just this isn't so much a news stream. It's more of just a hang out with you guys on Christmas Eve, shoot the shit sort of stream.
best stream.
Yeah, we've all spent time with our families, and now we're spending time with our online family.
Yeah. My corporate government family that's news that maybe pays me and I don't know, might not shoot me one day.
Yeah. Oh god. Random, do you watch the channel Trogley's Guitar Show?
No.
Actually, you might like that. He actually he buys and sells guitars, but he actually does a lot of features and everything. He had the Lizzie Hale Explorer,
Hmm.
which is actually pretty cool, but it's just like with $2,000 there was the binding on the neck was uneven. There was like the finish was on the fretboard was it looked like it had pieces chipped out off of it, and like and I just thought you're asking $2,000 for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the whole Gibson quality control thing. I mean, it just really kind of
Wow, isn't that why part of why they were like hurting so bad?
Well, no, the reason why they really hurting so bad is because they invested in a lot of Alan Sparks, the gold frets, yeah. The reason why they were hurting, they actually lost a lot of money with bankruptcy because they went into a lot of audio electronics, and tried to corner market on equipment for EDM music, and it didn't work out. Let's just say that. It didn't
The only
work out.
guitar stuff I know is that there was a Fender and a Gibson played in Layla, and that's about it.
Oh yeah. We call it. So we got actually Alan Sparks is a fan of Trackless. Yeah, the gold frets.
Captain Rob's Lonely Heart Club's band. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay. God. Yeah. Hope you will enjoy the chat. But
And if you don't enjoy the chat, I'll go to your house and burn it down because it has Norwegian wood in it. It took me so long to explain to my dad that song is about arson. It was kind of like that scene in Meet the Parents where it's like, no, Puff the Mad Dragon's about drugs. Or like, no, it's about a song about John just falling in love with a woman. Like, no, he burns her house down.
Actually, he's turning her down for sex, is what it is.
And then she leaves, and then he burns the house down or apartment.
Yeah. So I lit the fire, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. Yeah. Thailand Ranger was the guitar stage used or something. No, it's just $2,000. Gibson makes all these signature models for limited runs, and they charge exorbitant prices for them. When you can actually get a decent, you can get like the conventional model for like maybe $1,000 less, and make upgrades, and you can get a better instrument. Pardon me. But and actually you can get there's good values out there. You just gotta know where to look if you're into musical instruments like me and Mecca are.
Speaking of music, I'm gonna ask the impossible. What's everyone's least favorite Beatles song?
Oh,
not Revolution 9. That doesn't count.
Getting Better.
Really?
One fucking note the whole goddamn way through this song. Yeah, I hate that song.
Getting better.
Or what's the other one I hate?
Within
Hey
You
Jude.
Without.
I really hate Hey Jude.
Within You Without.
I really hate it.
Yeah, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than seeing Paul live.
Down.
There's nothing better than seeing Paul live and seeing him perform Hey Jude, and it just, oh man.
Yellow Submarine. What's wrong with you?
Yellow Submarine. Well, it's a fun little song. My least favorite, Within You Without You is not very good.
Yeah, that's probably close to mine.
I don't like I'm not that crazy about Old Brown Shoe. Oh boy. I mean, there's a bunch of them that I'm not crazy about. You Know My Name. You look up the number. People used to play on a jukebox at a bar. They used to play because it was. They used to play because it was ironic. And you wouldn't people expect to play a Beatles song, but the kids kept playing that. I'm like, for God's sake, why do you keep playing this?
I can't stand Blue Jay Way. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
Yeah, Blue Jay Way.
I love that.
Oh, you don't like Hey Jude?
I like it.
Well, yeah, because I like the more kind of psychedelic stuff that they do, because I that's sort of where my 60s taste is anyway, and like the really sort of real super LSD sound.
You know, I take up my mom probably more than anything else when it comes to the Beatles, but I like the granny music that Paul made.
Route 66 is asking, any chance you guys will get off Patreon due to Jack Conte's bias against politics outside his and the Monopoly Patreon not allowing competition?
Who the hell's Jack Conte?
I guess
Well, I think you answered your own question. There's a monopoly on Patreon not allowing competition, so there you go. That's my answer.
That was the only thing that got me through my day. Was literally I was humming the Help album to get me through work today. And I'm surprised no one looked at me and said, "Why do you need help there?" It's like, I'm fine. It's a song.
Since we don't really get into politics, probably it doesn't really affect us.
Yeah. I will say the song on Help that I love that no one else seems to mention is It's Only Love.
I like that one.
I like that one. That's such an underrated. I don't want to say underrated. It's underappreciated.
I find Rocky Raccoon underrated.
Let's see a story about Well, somewhere in Black Hills, Dakota, lives a boy named Rocket Raccoon. Don't like the Beatles, or so I don't like any songs, even covers. Okay, well, fine. That's.
I always imagine like some Guardians, maybe Guardians 3 having Rocky Raccoon or some cover of it.
Because that's why that's actually the inspiration for Rocket.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's where exactly where the story came from. They like that song and they went, yeah. So if it had been Rocky Sassoon, we would have no Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. CD Horde, Beatles, Up with the Stones. Stones, well, good.
I like Painted
them
Black.
I appreciate them more now.
And Keith Richards is unkillable.
Yeah. There's nuclear war. There's going to be.
He probably has magic blood.
Yeah. If there's a nuclear war, there's going to be cockroaches, some rats, and Keith Richards.
My favorite headline, I think, of last year was the Las Vegas Journal Review had one that said, "We're sad to report that Keith Richards is still alive in his room. The cops tried to kick the door in and try to help him, but he didn't need the help. He's still alive. It's 72."
Oh boy.
My dad does not actually like Eleanor Rigby. I quite like it.
It's got some very nice vocal work on it. I love it. It's a good one.
I also found out recently that apparently the string or orchestration is apparently a riff on the sound from Psycho.
George Martin put that together.
Yeah, in reality, he was the fifth Beatle.
Yes, absolutely, no argument there.
No, Pete Best. Sorry,
Stu. No, I was the 12th Beatle actually.
Well, Pete Best wasn't really around long enough to really do much to kind of contribute.
Well, yeah. Well, Pete was out by the time they actually broke. So,
okay, the best thing about back in the USSR is apparently it ticked off like the hardcore conservative people from like the McCarthy era, and they were like, we gotta get rid of this John Lennon guy. He's a communist.
Did you ever hear this story? Actually, back in the 60s, in the 60s, 70s, there was a story going around in Russia that because there was like a lot of news they couldn't get from the West behind the Iron Curtain. So these stories kind of circulated. And so there was a story that began to circulate that the Beatles were flying back from Japan and they had to stop for fuel and they were landed at an airport in the Soviet Union. And, the soldiers surrounded the plane. He goes, no, man, we're just stopping for fuel. And so the legend goes, they played an impromptu concert, an impromptu acoustic set on the wing of the plane. And they say, and as the legend kind of grew, and a lot of Russians believe that's where the inspiration for Back in the USSR comes from. You never heard that story? No,
I've never heard that one. That's interesting.
I haven't heard that one either.
First time I ever heard it.
I know that it's a Chuck Berry like riff, and because he had a song called "Back in the USS" or "Back in the USA."
Chuck Berry, and they're sort of like poking a little fun at the Beach Boys too.
Yeah, a little bit of Pet Sounds in there too.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, the whole. Has anybody else heard a conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney died? Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah, that
John Lennon wrote a song where he includes that as a lyric at him. What was it? The song was "How Can You Sleep?" Opens with him saying like, "Those freaks that said you were dead, maybe they were right."
Yeah, he was replaced by a lookalike named William Campbell, aka Billy Shears. Yeah.
Batman once made a comic issue where apparently all the Beatles are zombies except for Ringo.
It's not Kush. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. It's not the son of the sky. It's the Son of God. That's Caesar and Christ.
The best thing ever said about that Paul is dead thing was the one on The Simpsons where if you play was it Baby I'm Afraid or whatever, that song from Wings, backwards he says I'm alive, I'm okay.
Oh, who's got the Git box? Mecca, is that you?
No, that's
Tom.
The Git box. The Bread and Circuses, that's right. Yeah, Kush.
Where did that theory come from anyway that Paul was dead? Who made that up?
I think
had everything to do with like he got in a car accident. I think it was
some college
student. That he cracked his teeth.
He cracked his. He broke his teeth in the Philippines.
Moped.
On a moped, yeah. Sorry
That's
about
what
that.
it was. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
But that apparently, as the story goes, there was some college students in a dorm room in Detroit, Michigan, or Ann Arbor. They started noticing things on the album covers, clues, and then and that's supposedly the genesis of the Paul is Dead thing. It's 28, the license plate 281F, 28IF. Actually, it's 28. When I took the Beatles tour, walking tour in England, they said it was 281F. But everything is just a little too convenient,
I love the Paul is Live concert where he like rearranged the numbers on the cars to be like "I'm still alive" or something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Does he find that amusing, or is he like Buzz Aldrin when it comes to like moon conspiracy? You just hate him.
He said one time, and he goes, "What do you think about you're playing in Detroit?" He said in a press conference, "You opened a tour in Detroit. How do you feel about that? That's where the Paul is Dead rumor started." He goes, it's a long time ago. Besides, I never believed it. So,
when he dies, they're gonna have to do autopsies. Like, we can confirm it was Paul.
Paul is really dead this time. Paul is dead, man. Miss him. Yeah, at the end of I'm so tired. Paul is dead, man. Miss him.
Or what was it? It was, we buried Paul from like a strawberry field, except for its cranberry sauce.
I buried Paul. Yeah, I buried Paul. That's almost actually cranberry sauce. So, I actually looked it up today. The actual strawberry field, the orphanage is going to be turned into a facility for training mentally. What's the proper term?
Deficient.
Well, it's for training people with mental disabilities.
Handicap.
Yeah, mentally handicapped people, which is actually a good use for it. It's a large facility. Salvation Army used to own it.
And I'm sure Yoko will say, "See, because John was such a great, caring person," and I'm going to say, "Bullshit."
Yoko's still digging around the Dakota for some stuff that he might have scribbled on.
You can trip over those bullet casings for all I care.
Do you think the Epiphone Casino is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't know how long they've got it for, but do you think that she's just like waiting to get it back so she can auction it at Sotheby's, or
maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sad. Like, and I mentioned this after the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out, but she is still going forward with that John Lennon biopic movie that she produces, and I think has control over the writing.
Yeah, Patrick Ollinger, Tom, do you like the Who? Yeah, I like the Who.
I like the Who.
Don't like all their stuff. I like the Who.
Yeah, some other stuff's decent.
DJ D Show, Merry Christmas, aloha.
Merry Christmas, everyone. It's almost like it's 15 minutes till Christmas my time, right? Or your time, Central. I'm an hour early. I haven't changed my clock on my computer. Sorry. Well, it is Christmas where Rob is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an hour deep. I'm 45 minutes deep into Christmas.
Me too. How do you feel about all the Beatles and James Bond references?
Beatles and James Bond references?
Because they have a weird relation, because Help kind of opens with a James Bond intro, and of course Goldfinger has the famous, like, "You don't drink wine at this temperature. It's like listening to the Beatles without earmuffs."
Yeah. It's nice little references. I mean,
well, it was
anything. Well,
George Martin.
Ian Fleming.
Sorry.
Ian Fleming, I think, wasn't a particular fan.
Him or Broccoli
at the time.
I think George Martin did music for "Live and Let Die," and of course he brought Paul for the song. And "Tomorrow Never Dies" flat out is said to be because "Tomorrow Never Knows" was a good title. And what was it? Quantum of Solace. The Bond girl's name is Strawberry Fields.
Yes. Gemma Arterton.
Yeah. Well, I like Gemma Arterton. Is it Arterton or Atherton? I've always been saying it wrong.
Arterton, I believe it is.
Yeah, I like her, and also, of course, Barbara Bach. That's Ringo's wife.
Oh yeah, was in Spider Love Me.
Yep. But yeah, it's weird that they started off hating each other, and now it's like, we're gonna reference you in songs now.
Well, they're both British institutions, really.
Yeah, it's just weird they hate each other at first.
Yeah, and the most bizarre coincidence: the exact same day was chosen for the release of "Love Me Do," the first Beatles single, and the premiere of "Dr. No," the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really? Okay, that I did not know. Kush, they killed Gemma too quickly. Yes.
They also did it way too similar to Goldfinger because, hey, I remember that movie. Except, oil is a lot less sexy than gold.
Yeah. It's oil. Her lungs are full of it. I'm like, oh, that just really made me sad.
Well, it's more scientifically accurate than Goldfinger.
Skin suffocation.
Very
common. It's very common among cabaret dancers. They leave a patch of bare skin at the base of the spine.
I actually read the book once, and I laughed when I saw the movie because the movie basically calls out a plot hole in the book where it's like, there's no way you can get all that gold out of Fort Knox. It'll take like 200 years. That's in the book. It's almost like they realized. Sorry.
No, okay. Just cut me off. Don't feel bad.
Sorry. But yeah, it's the weirdness of it's like you calling out your own problems, but Ian Fleming was still alive at that point, so oh well.
I say, Goldfinger, your plan is inspired. That's great. That's great. That's actually a great. I always tell people always ask me what Bond movie do I need to watch first. I always say just watch Goldfinger first. It gives you a nice feel for the whole series. It's the archetype for the character.
It's the one that introduced all the key aspects because before that you wouldn't have like the songs and the action wasn't always the best and
Yeah, great actually video the Smithereens did was a tribute to Goldfinger for their video Only in Memory, where it's projected all over a model's body. That's actually nice, great homage they do. So, I'm
more of a From Russia with Love person, frankly, when it comes to like favorite Bond movie.
Oh yeah, well, that's really good.
Yeah, I love that one.
I always point out to people, as iconic as a car is, Sean Connery only drives the DB5 in 2 movies.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so closely associated with the series, and it's so closely associated with Sean Connery. But like I said, it only appears. He only drives it in 2 movies, which is kind of strange. By the time, I don't think does he drive. He doesn't drive anything in You Only Live Twice. He drives. Lazenby drives the DBS in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 67 DBS. And
Brosnan got the Vanquish.
Brosnan got the Vanquish, but he drove the He drove 2 BMWs actually before that, the 750IL and the Z3. And then he drove the Z4. No, the BMW Z8 in The World Is Not Enough.
Amazon Prime has almost all the Bond movies for free, and oh man, what was the last one? Tomorrow Never Dies. See, I don't remember the last couple Bond movie. No, the last one for Brosnan. I always mix up Tomorrow Never Dies.
Die Another Day.
That one is so bad. I forget how bad that one is. Oh god, the CGI icebergs is so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not a good it's not a good movie.
Like, hey kids, you want to know why there's only one major CGI like action scene in James Bond? That's why.
Well, speaking of not good movies, what's everybody's least favorite movie they got to see this year?
Oh goddamn.
Deadpool 2.
What?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I'm not a huge Deadpool fan anyway, but that was like of the 5 movies I saw. I think it was either that one or Ready Player One. But I think
Deadpool Ready Player One was ruined for me when I listened to what was it, 280 pages you're not going to get back.
I don't remember.
That was a podcast by the Riff Tracks people where they actually literally read every chapter in the book and explain why it sucks.
Oh wow.
Well,
it wasn't like bad. I mean, and same thing with like Deadpool 2. It wasn't like bad. I think they were just not super my taste.
I've seen it on HBO. Believe me, the movie is better than the book. The book is so bad. It's just basically Ernst Klein basically yelling out to the world all his opinions and political beliefs in the most obnoxious way possible, while also quoting your favorite movies. Except quoting your own favorite movies is really boring.
Tyler?
What, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your pick?
Oh my god, I only saw 2 movies in theaters. I saw Isle of Dogs and Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Well, anything from 2018 counts.
Oh my god, I gotta look at the list.
Rob? Spider Curse?
I don't, it's like a toss between Spider Curse and Solo.
That was my pick. Was Solo.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about Solo. Can I change it to Solo?
Yeah, you can change it. To
I want to change mine
See-
to Solo. I totally forgot about that one.
See, here's the thing. We all knew Solo was going to be bad. Okay, but we just didn't know the level of badness. That was
Well,
that-
it didn't even reach mediocre. Plus, like Doomcock says, it was boring.
yeah, it was boring. That's its greatest cinematic crimes. That was boring. And I always say about how if you're, you know, for a movie carrying the Star Wars label, you expect it to be something more. You expect it to be bigger and better. You know.
Oh, I have an
Mhm.
answer now. The John Gotti movie that was done by oh god, well, I already forgot what name even did that or now.
John Travolta.
Travolta. That was it. That
Gotti,
was
yeah.
it. Or I'm like that movie. Everything about that movie. Everything about. I don't even think is a very interesting.
Yeah, but I don't
mafia
think
figure.
anybody expected that to be good. Though.
Well, I didn't think it'd be so bad. They'd be doing the Ghostbusters like we're insulting the critics and
True.
trying to be like creepy as hell. Where it's like see our movie and
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to Solo is that you still kind of held out hope in the back of your brain that somehow they were going to pull a coherent movie out of this, you know, and the fact that they couldn't makes it all that much more disappointing because, you know, like I said, at least they were trying to fix it. That's the thing. They were trying to fix it, but it was just so fucked that it was probably impossible. With Into the Spider-Verse, they deliberately set out to make that movie. That's the thing.
here's a fun question. Can anybody remember the name of the stupid feminist robot in the? I don't remember his
Yes,
name.
L337. It was Leet.
Seriously, all I can
Yeah.
remember, all I can think of is her name being Femputer because of that, episode of Futurama.
Futurama. I love that episode.
Yeah, it was Leet for. It was Leet.
You will
speak
kneel
for
before
Leet.
Femputor. He is not Fembot.
we hereby sentence you to death by snoo. I just call her Fembot 3000.
That's pretty much what I'm going to go with too. I'm like,
I
I
just-
just remember that name.
I really expected her to say droid lives matter. I really did.
Didn't she?
No,
Didn't
she
she
didn't.
though? I thought she did.
I thought she did too. I haven't seen it in the ensuing 8 months or 6 months or whatever it is.
Something
Well,
similar to it anyway.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in theaters, obviously.
But I was telling actually, you know, and like I
You're
said,
not
getting
alone,
back,
Tyler.
yeah. But getting back, well, Tom, okay, what was your least favorite movie of the year? Before we go on,
I said
Before
Solo.
make my- okay, Solo.
Yeah.
But here's one of the things though. And somebody got really pissed off at me on YouTube. I left a comment on Alachia's channel. Alachia Queen, actually, she does really good work. Check her channel out. I left a comment on her Into the Spider-Verse thing about how the in Into the Spider-Verse, the burger eating scene is really the same scene as the titty milk drinking scene in The Last Jedi. And if you watch both scenes, they're not exactly the same, but they're similar enough. And they both convey the same thing. Oh, look, your
Yeah, the
heroes are
message is the same. Yeah.
Well, at least
you're-
it was an alternate version of Peter Parker. It wasn't like Star Wars, where no, this is our Luke.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I mean, there's two messages, okay, and acknowledge the two Lego directors, Lord and Miller, yeah. But there's two messages. Killing the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Peter Parker, that version from that universe is pretty much saying, look, the stereotypical hero archetype is dead, and we killed it.
Dr.
Okay.
Meatball, that's not an 80%. That's 100% chance they're gonna do it.
Yeah, Jake Parker. What is talking about? An 80% chance it caresses the panel of the Falcon. What?
Yeah, we've said that.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna caress it and go,
Oh,
"You
okay.
old girl, it's good to see you." It's like,
Yeah.
and we all gonna go, "Oh no."
Yeah. Oh, see, let
But-
me put my lightsaber right
Okay,
in your data.
I'll give the
point.
benefit of the doubt to the actress. Has anybody seen Phoebe Waller-Bridge in anything else?
No, I haven't seen anything else.
Because I know she has a TV show called Fleabag, and I think it was a commercial for it on FX, and it seemed kind of amusing. Where she's trying to get a job, and she's like, "I have assets." She's taking off her dress, and the guy goes, Believe me, everybody tries that. It does not work here anymore.
Okay. Well, anyway, back to my point though. Like I said, though, the whole idea behind killing the blonde hair, blue eyed Peter Parker is, like I said, you're pretty much killing. You're saying the stereotypical, white male, blonde hair, blue eyed hero archetype is outdated, and you're killing it. And now the 40-year-old, fat, overweight, out of shape, chronically depressed, burger eating Peter Parker is a stand-in for the audience. But you're also saying that, oh, look, your heroes are human. They're flawed. They are not what you think they are. And like I said, if you watch those, and on my video, I put the two scenes side by side, and they are remarkably similar. And Ray and Luke's arc is the same exact as Miles and Peter's arc in Into the Spider-Verse. It really is. And I keep saying, and I was watching one of Professor Geek's videos, this whole thing about having to tear down existing heroes. Oh, we're deconstructing it. I'm like, no, you're fucking it up. Okay. Blackface, I don't think I'm over. I think you might be overthinking this a bit. Well, but that's the implied symbolism of it.
It could be lazy writing.
I don't think you are, and it's not just because I didn't care for the film. I think you're right. It is a lot of it because the blue-eyed blonde Peter Parker, that is not the Peter Parker that's supposed to be the Peter Parker we know.
What I can't get over is that they
we know is supposed to be the one that comes through the portal, I bet. I'm pretty sure.
The 616 Peter Parker,
yeah, because the way you put it, and your argument is sound in a sense that, yes, they are trying to make him out to be not as great. Everything in his life is fucked up. He fucked up everything in his life. He's done nothing right. Right. And here he has this opportunity with this kid who has basically the same story arc he does, and they even make it so that it's even more so like his in the movie for some reason. We won't get into that at this moment in time because that's not the point. But the point is that he should be able to instill, what he did wrong to this kid. But as you point out, he doesn't really get any real lessons from Peter Parker. And in the end, it's like, well, you stay here, kid, because we don't want you to get hurt. You can't do this, Well, then all of a sudden he can do everything, even though he's had no lessons, just like Rey at the end of The Force Awakens, where all of a sudden she's stronger than Kylo Ren. It's like, give me a break.
And again, this is a Peter Parker that comes through the portal. This is a Peter Parker that he is defeated. He has given up on himself. He's given up on his pledge to that he made to Uncle Ben. Great power, great responsibility. And that's not what I've read Spider-Man. That's not what Peter Parker would do. Peter Parker would never give up on himself. He would never. I never met. It's a fictional character. I never met the man, but it just speaks like to this whole nihilism through this whole nihilistic lens that yet so many of these younger writers are writing these characters. They think it's deep and meaningful, but it's not. And that whole thing is, when you deconstruct these characters, you better be building something else in its place, and they don't.
Well, and that's what I was saying. They're trying to give us, here's your replacement, Miles Morales. He's just like the old one, but he's new and better and improved.
Yes.
When really everybody's like, and I'm not trying to put anybody down who likes the movie. It's enjoyable enough. And as I said before, if it was a straight to video movie, I'd just be able to ignore it. But no, they're trying to make it out to be this great thing that it really isn't. And yes, it is midnight. So Merry Christmas to all those in the Midwest.
Yay! Yay!
Yay! Merry Christmas Central.
Yeah. Mindhunger. New Hollywood thinks that if they write dark, as in emotionally dark, depressed, or dark intentions, dark pessimism, that somehow this is edgy and gritty and real. In my opinion, it's just bad. Right? Yes, it actually is.
Right. Well, and we had Jeffrey on the other day, and he hadn't seen Spider-Verse yet, but I would have asked him, how do you feel about them basically just taking Peter Parker and blackwashing him? And not only did they blackwash him, they just took Miles as a character and they made him Peter Parker, but they gave him a bunch of stereotypes and everything. How is everybody okay with this? I just don't get it, especially the people who are supposed to be against a lot of this shit. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and why they're thinking he's such a great character and they don't see the comparisons you're making to him and Rey and Luke and Peter. It totally makes sense to me. I mean, I guess I feel like, I don't know. I guess we saw a different movie than other people did. I don't know.
Like, I haven't seen it, but I will say this: some of the trailers make the animation look like, how do I put this? Robot Chicken sketches.
Yeah, I keep saying it looks like a PlayStation 1. It looks like a combination between a PlayStation 1 cutscene and Wallace and Gromit.
It's the one specifically the trailer where they're going through like the woods before I guess Spider-Gwen shows up. It looks like something I swear I've seen in an episode of Robot Chicken.
Mm. Yeah.
And even people who like the movie will admit, yeah, the frame rate. I'm not sure why they went with that artistic choice.
But I mean, I'm getting quite a bit of pushback. I mean, some people have been. I respectfully disagree with you, but there are a lot of people who are.
Oh, I think we've gotten some pushback on After Dark.
Yeah.
Go have we now? I've seen a lot of it. Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are getting very angry about how dare you? How can you not like this? Oh my God, this is unbelievable. You know, but hey, listen, man, your mileage may vary. And actually, I was saying this actually to someone today. This is one of the bad things about doing this podcast and doing Midnight's Edge is that we can't really watch movies the same way anymore. I hate saying that, but you know, it's you start seeing things that you never noticed before, and it's sort of and there's sort of the simple enjoyment of a movie. You know,
yeah, I had that issue with Deadpool too.
Yeah.
Since we had that leak and we had to report on it and all that stuff, you know.
That's the problem with being a critic.
That's
the problem with being a critic. Sometimes you just start noticing the little, tethers and the
that I've had an issue. I've had to be a critic for so goddamn long. To me, that's just second nature. But I have two ways of approaching it. You know, there's the approach of when I was working at like in video and stuff like that. It's when you talk to people, you got to basically be like Netflix. And, you know, and somebody says, well, what's a good movie out there? It's like, well, you got to know what they like, first of all. And if they liked this, well, then they might like that. You know, and just because I didn't like it doesn't mean this person might not like it. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me personally what I felt about a movie, well, then I'll give you my critique, you know. And then there's also that kind of hat I put on as a film critic. And like with Spider-Verse, I have to say that, you know, for the most part overall, it was mediocre at best. I don't get where the hype gnosis surrounding it is coming from, but I can't not tell people not to go see it because I do know that a lot of people will have a good time as opposed to most movies like it. And since it is animated, I guess it's a little less.
I think people are more
than like The Last Jedi, for instance.
I think people are more forgiving is what it is because it's an animated film.
Yeah, people assume
they shouldn't be though. They
right,
shouldn't
that's
be.
what I'm kind of getting at. Yeah.
Like I'll say this: I hope whoever produces at Netflix does a better job than their algorithm. Because this entire day, because I saw a couple episodes of Narcos that's recommending me documentaries about rock stars, and I'm wondering where's the connection here.
Yeah, one of the things though I'm noticing a lot though more, and especially since, like I said, the Mahler video is that you start to see patterns emerge, and one of the patterns I noticed, like I said, when you watch The Last Jedi again, when you watch Into the Spider-Verse again, you notice that a lot of the action takes place by sheer coincidence or not by characters impacting the action, but by actions impacting them. You know, Miles stumbles upon he goes and spray paints graffiti. He stumbles upon a tunnel where the Spider-Man just so happens to be fighting the Green Goblin, and in that tunnel, it just so happens that Alchemax built a large super collider that just so happens to be, you know, the brainchild of Wilson Fisk. And Wilson Fisk just so happens to be having a party with all these spider people, and they just so happen to all be in costume. And it just so happens that Spider-Gwen shows up, and it just so happens there's a lot of convenience, you know, like that. It's like the pitch meeting guys, you know, the guy in the pitch meeting. So wait a minute. All these, so how are they going to get from the penthouse to the elevator? Isn't that going to cause a problem? No, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. You know, when you start saying that, you kind of have problems with that. You know, you kind of have problems with your storytelling. Your storytelling isn't as cohesive and as airtight as you'd like to think it is. Route 66, why do you like Miguel O'Hara more than Miles Morales? Well, Miguel O'Hara is more badass. And it's something we haven't seen before. We haven't seen a Spider-Man, or we don't get to see very many heroes in a futuristic setting.
Not really, no.
No. And I said, you
Well,
know,
and to that effect, this Spider-Verse movie didn't give me a reason why, and I'm not that fluent in Miles Morales, so this movie didn't tell me why he's supposed to be better than Peter Parker, or at least on par. To me, he's just Peter Parker 2.0.
oh, he just is. He just is. Oh, he just is. Yeah, he just is. Yeah. Oh, you know, it's again it's the I want to call it the I don't want to call it the Ray syndrome, but it's the I mean it's like you know, it is it's very much like Ray. How did you learn how to do that? I don't know. He gets one training session from Peter.
Worst
and
thing is
all
that,
this-
that one line makes me always say, okay, they're going to explain that, but now they're not going to because thanks, Ryan.
And Frios, I gotta argue with that point. He says it's not if Spider-Verse movie was made for children. It was made for children. It's a cartoon. Cartoons are made for kids. Sorry to blow everybody's mind. That's not necessarily always the case, especially with movies like this. They are meant to appeal to both adults and children, and it's a way that kids can go to see a movie with, or adults can go to see a movie with their kids, and they know they're not going to see something they shouldn't see, and the adults need to be able to be entertained too. And Pixar has proved, and not only that, Disney from the very start, that you don't have to just be a kid to enjoy these kind of movies.
yeah.
You know, and
Well, but
I get it,
just-
and they're not just aiming it at kids, though. That's the thing,
yeah.
and we've said that before. It would be one thing if it was just for kids, because this movie doesn't know what it wants to be, even though
no.
That's
people
what Walt
don't see
Disney's
what
old
people are
logic was
saying.
that,
Yeah,
that adults are just kids grown up.
one minute this movie is a kids movie, the next minute it's a serious drama-ish kind of comic book kind of movie, and the next minute it's a more adult type film with people dying and shit, and then
That it's a family film.
Yeah.
Then it goes back to be. Sometimes all those shifts happen in the same scene. I mean, hey, listen, when I saw I was 24 years old when I saw The Lion King. Okay, now if you argue with me that it's just a kids movie,
Nope.
no, it's not. I mean, there was some pretty sophisticated stuff going on. Yes, kids can appreciate it. Kids can get a handle on it. But you know what? That's not a kids movie.
It's a family version of Hamlet.
Yes.
well, and another good example is look at even somebody could turn around and say, well, they made a Sesame Street movie that was definitely for kids. Not necessarily. I'd hold up Follow That Bird right next to the best of the Muppet movies.
Yeah.
Because they knew they had to appeal to not just kids, but
Watch
adults.
that Bluebird song and try not to cry.
Well, fuck yeah. That's a good, it's to me, like I said, that's one of the better Muppet movies out there. And it has enough Muppets in it and people behind it that worked with the Muppets. And it was when they were in their prime, and it holds up to this day because I seen it a couple years back and it still holds up.
It's the reason why every single kids movie that does the whole follow your own people and try to act like them, they're trying to be Follow That Bird.
Free S 1776. The Lion King was a kids movie with adult themes. Well, like you said,
Lion King was Hamlet, man.
Yeah,
It was Disney's Hamlet.
I know
Like I said,
the animation called
adults-
it Bambi in Africa, but it is Hamlet.
like I said, adults are kids just grown up. I mean,
That's what Walt said. He was right.
yeah. And the other thing too is, I mean, if I'm hardly hearing about any kids going to see Into the Spider-Verse. It's mostly adults.
No, kids are
And
going to see Aquaman.
I mentioned one thing right here. Like when I saw Moana 2 years ago, there was no kids in my theater. It was old
Well, and I
people.
can end this debate right now because you know what? The whole reason. Okay, first of all, every animated movie we have now is the result of Walt Disney, correct?
Yeah, pretty
Correct.
much.
And the original reason why Disney did Snow White was his challenge was to make movies that were animated that adults would actually go see, because that's what people told him. Nobody's going to watch an animated movie for over an hour, let alone anybody with kids.
Yeah, like I think when they premiered it, like tons of Hollywood stars were like crying.
It was a big
alley,
fucking deal.
in the aisle. Like, what was the old story? Like, again, like Gary Cooper apparently was like sobbing at the end.
And then there was a big whole controversy over it, not because of it wasn't being considered a real movie because of for the Oscars and all that kind of shit or
Yeah,
something.
so they gave him like an honorary Oscar for new technology.
Yeah.
And he got so pissed saying, "Oh, you're not taking me seriously."
Yeah. Well, one of the things I keep saying is that if your defense is, well, these are kids movies. Well, don't you care about the kids, about kids enough to want them to watch something that's not going to insult their intelligence?
Well, look what happened to this last generation of kids who grew up on stupid shit. These are like the millennials that a lot of people poke
with
fun
the
at.
deregulated cartoons and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So Do you really, really want another generation of that? Because that's what you're gonna get.
Do we want more Noelle Stevensons?
Not
Do
really.
we want more kids who need their safe spaces? Do we need more kids who get offended at everything because they don't understand what context is, or what humor is, or what, you know?
Oh, you want context? Literally an hour ago, I was reading an article about you remember the director of Fritz the Cat? Apparently, before that, he did Mighty Mouse, and he got in trouble because of one scene where it looked like he was snorting cocaine. It was a flower, but someone took it out of context, and it got the show canceled.
Right. Well, and I mean, to be fair, yes, there are movies more now so that they aim towards kids, but like Kush brought up, define kid. I sat quietly through Popeye and Flash Gordon and Black Hole when they came out. Those were considered family movies.
Black Hole is really not a kid's film.
No, but it's still considered a family movie at the same time. And that's
It's-
the point. It's something that can be enjoyed by everybody, not just kids.
I'm sure I would
Not
love
just
kids.
adults.
I would have loved to see the kids' reaction when Norman Bates gets buzzsawed to death.
But yes, to go say what OG Spock was saying is, kids are made for, or movies are made for kids and fucktards. She's not totally wrong. I'm quoting exactly what she said. They think we're idiots. Hollywood thinks everybody's a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
They are constantly breathing down directors and story writers' necks saying, you can't do that, you can't do this, people here won't understand that, people won't get it, oh, you've got to explain that better, this,
Okay.
that, and the other. All the shit that started stirring the pot and fucking up movies to begin with.
Weird example, but a really good way to summarize, like, oh, people took it more seriously 20 years ago was watch Beauty and the Beast now, and then watch the remake, and then see how what was actually subtle in the original movie is now not subtle. Like, they had to crank up several things that were like, okay, what was like a small detail, but in the original movie, the only character that wears blue is just Belle. Everybody wears it in the remake. They just didn't get smaller details like that.
Well, that's nuance.
Yeah, well, subtle. There's a lot of that in the remake.
Nuance, color theory. I mean, this.
Well, that I don't even know. See, that's the thing. Color theory, I think, went out the door when they were just more worried about what tint they could put on their movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick. To me, that has taken a lot of what was so great about movies, and outside of a few instances that it has been used to the proper, end. The tint thing has gotten crazy and out of control to the point where they're even tinting old movies at times. I noticed on home video releases.
This is
like
true.
They'll do a new tint, and it's like, are you kidding me? That looks nasty as fuck.
Well, it's better than the Ted Turner colorization of the 90s.
Yeah.
No, not really though. Like it used to be in color. Now they're just decolorizing it.
True. Is well, Mecca's not wrong, because like a perfect example is Critters just was brought out again on Blu-ray, and Shout went back to the original negatives for that, and people were like, oh, it's not color corrected right. No, it's right. The problem was the DVD from years ago. They gave the movie a blue hue tint throughout the whole fucking movie for some reason. Terminator was like that too, and then people, that one was meant to, but then they didn't put it back on for one of the releases, and people complained. And then I think it was too much for another release. I can't remember exactly.
Speaking of Terminator,
there's been so many releases of it.
I think it was a long time back on the show. Someone brought up like Harlan Ellison fighting with James Cameron about that movie. I can explain that story. It was that James Cameron cited an Outer Limits episode as being inspiration for Terminator, and Harlan Ellison went, oh, no, you didn't inspire, you ripped me off, and they went to court, and apparently the studio folded really quickly and gave him all the money, despite the fact, I'd say more inspiration than rip off, and Cameron never was happy about that. And then you had the balls to say, good movie, though.
Well, and that's just it. It's always a fine line between inspiration and actually ripping something off.
Inspiration and constipation, you mean?
Yeah.
If you want an example of ripping off, and Dead Mouse 16 is reminded me, American Werewolf in London and the remake of The Mummy. That is completely ripping that off.
Oh yeah, well, and that's Alex Kurtzman. Fuck you, Alex Kurtzman.
Yes, it was. It was Kurtzman.
Alex Kurtzman does not have an original. He keeps recycling the same ideas over and over again.
If Griffin Dunn was younger and more popular, he probably would have been in the Mummy remake playing the same role.
Well, you also know how that shit happens, right? It's because in the process, some producer or member of the cast, like maybe even Tom Cruise or somebody like that, will go, I was never a big fan of The Mummy when I was a kid, but what I did love was American Werewolf in London. Can we make this movie more like that? That happens all the fucking time. And that's probably what happened at some point. Some producer, Tom Cruise or somebody like that said that.
And we know that Alex Kurtzman is just a yes man. He's the studio notes guy. He's the guy who does everything they ask him to, and that's why everything he does sucks.
Speaking of our recent documentary, does Sean Peters still do anything?
John Peters?
Yeah, does he still do anything, or was Man of Steel like the last
Jon
one?
Peters? Yeah. I think he's mostly retired, but I'm not sure on that. I'd have to look.
Oh, good, because the society does not need a man like that.
He was Barbra Streisand's hairdresser.
He has been accused of sexual harassment like 5 times, though.
Seriously? I'm not even surprised.
For people say you have to work hard, you have to work hard, you have to study hard. No,
Not him.
John Peters, like you said, John Peters, Alex Kurtzman,
like,
Noelle Stevenson.
They're made for
He's
each
just
other.
a star fucker. That's all he was.
A Streisand screwer?
Yeah, and actually, he hasn't done well. He's an executive producer on Star is Born, of course.
Yeah, the
Other
1976
than that,
version.
yeah, nothing since Man of Steel is executive,
Oh, good.
and he's got 3 deaths coming out as an executive producer.
3 deaths?
Yeah,
He dies 3 times?
no, we wish no, he's a dick from everything I've heard. Yeah,
Oh, like Kevin Smith stabs him once, and then
Tim Burton and who else gets a
Nicolas Cage for
Yeah.
not getting him his movie.
Why wouldn't you let me be the Superman?
Let's be honest, that movie would have been a mess if it actually come out.
Oh, but it would have been a beautiful motherfucking mess.
Oh yeah, it would have been glorious. It would have been like Batman and Robin, where it's like people will talk about this for generations to come.
Yeah. Patrick Ollinger says, "Rob, do you like Tom Cruise?" And not really, not particularly.
It depends on the movie, and it's never because of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Alexandra Malouf. So bad it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Superman Lives. Absolutely, it would have been.
Yeah.
I probably would watch the hell. It'd be terrible, but I'd watch the living hell out of that. I really would.
There was a time we almost got the Kevin Smith script animated, but I guess they
canned it too.
can that, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been like those like those Batman movies that were on direct to video with the Adam West stuff. Could have been like that.
Route 66. Do you think the post 9/11 era is what shaped people like Noelle Stevenson?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's the hippie parents telling their kids, you could be whatever you want to be, you could do whatever you want to do, and not setting up boundaries for a lot of them. And that sort of bled over into the people my age raising kids,
Yeah, but actual hippies had kids that turned out better.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like
Yeah, 'cause every generation rebels against the previous.
As
so-
a parent, I can only take half the blame I feel. Because unlike when my parents were, parenting us, times have changed. We're not allowed to do the shit my parents were allowed to do. Because I always had a famous saying, the cops used to bring your ass home so your parents could beat your ass. They didn't show up at your house because your parents beat your ass. I'm not advocating any kind of child abuse, but you kids know that you can't discipline them nowadays. My kid's a prime example of that. And I feel like my hands are tied half the time on what I can and cannot do because I don't know what else to do, especially when the kid's as big as I am, And frankly, the other side of it is the internet. Every kid is connected with every kid, and every kid wants to be accepted in a part of the group. And not to get too political, I think it's great when kids get involved in politics, but I hope it's for the right reasons and they understand what they're doing and saying and getting into. And because that always brings us back to what we always bitch about here is when they jump on something that we're, not understanding why they're having an issue with it, whether it was Cool Runnings or To Kill a Mockingbird, or most recently with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Peanuts, and Kiss the Girl on Little Mermaid we mentioned the other night was now getting, it's it's like, you guys don't even understand what you're fighting for. He's the victim, if anything, in that song. You know, it's like, come on, guys, get with the program.
Like this last night, I went to bed listening to Surrealistic Pillow. I turned out mostly fine.
Well, he's not the victim. She's the aggressor. There's a
Yeah, well,
difference.
that's the thing. And not only that, she needs him to kiss her. And not only just because she wants him to, but she needs him to for a reason.
A woman
And
needs
so-
a man? No.
Well, not just that, it could be looked at as the same, no difference as in a way that a guy would, you know, say to a woman, well, if you want this job, you know, kind of thing to a point. It's a way that's the only way she's not going to die or whatever, or turn back
She
into a
no got a
mermaid.
lot to say, but there's something
I was going to
about
sing
her.
that song tonight, wasn't I?
You know,
And
I'm
you
sure-
don't know why, but you're dying to try. You want to.
I think I
kiss
start
her.
saying, Samuel Wright, you're culturally appropriating Jamaican people, even though he's Jamaican.
But another part about this is, like I said, I think there was just a glorious misunderstanding of how storytelling works by this younger generation.
Yes.
By the hip cool people in Hollywood. They've never studied literature. They've never done any reading. They've never even watched movies, it seems like.
Guess
And
what?
so-
Bad guys are supposed to be bad.
Oh yeah.
They're supposed to do mean things. They're supposed to say bad things. And not only that, characters can be flawed. You ever heard of this thing called a character arc? It's where a character learns how to be better or learns how to do something better. You know, they're not just automatically better or automatically good. It just doesn't work that way in real life, and it doesn't work that way in storytelling. That just defies the whole purpose of a story.
But take a
Joseph,
look.
Joseph Conrad's probably turning over in his grave going, that's not how it's supposed to go.
But take a look at how many exactly the same stories we've gotten over the course of over a number of movies and television series. I mean, you have, like I said, Star Trek Into Darkness is the exact same story as
Wrath of Khan.
Wrath of
Well,
Khan.
it starts as
Khan.
Wrath of Khan,
I'll
and
kick
then
your
they do
ass
their
if you
own
don't know that
things.
one.
Yeah, and then I know what you're getting
I was
to.
thinking,
yeah.
I was thinking like there's elements of Discovery in that too. The Admiral.
Well, that's what we were
Rogue
getting to.
Admiral.
When they got into Discovery, they kept copying.
Oh, yeah,
the
Rogue,
same story thing, yeah.
Rogue Admiral RoboCop.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and freaking like I said, Discovery, the Rogue Admiral Discovery. I mean, and again, Discovery is ripping off Wrath of Khan, bringing a guy out of bringing the murderous psychopath back to win the war for you. The whole Red Matter thing is ripped off from Lost. Like I said, Into the Spider-Verse has the same character arc with Rey as between Peter and Miles Morales as Rey and Luke from. I mean, like I said, we're getting the same shit over and over again. It's
Right.
because you have all these hip young guys who say, well, these are fictional characters. You could do whatever you want, but you're not doing whatever you want. You're doing the exact same things over and over again.
Well, not a lot of times it's illogical too. Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
how in the
and the-
interview with Myers, he had to be so polite when saying that it wasn't a very good movie.
Oh man. But hold on, free us 1776. Going back to Star Wars for a second. Can someone explain to me how this trilogy is a Skywalker saga when the main protagonist is Rey of the films and not a Skywalker? Because that's what Kathleen Kennedy wanted.
Well, I think she was meant to be a Skywalker. That's why.
Well, they're all going to be dead by the next movie.
Yeah.
But no, going back to what you just said, Rob, you're right. And I think that brings me to that video that I shared with you. And I said that you could apply that music logic to movies where music has gotten worse basically and gone substantially downhill. They say that the video said since the Beatles, but I say since like the late 80s. And that's kind of the same thing with movies to a point. You have the same thing and it's kind of gone to this same typical formula. There's 5 different formulas you use and you have to stick with that. And the way they subvert your expectations now, instead of taking the cliches and turning them in clever ways and twisting them in clever ways, it's doing it with characters by either changing their race or their sex, or just doing stupid shit like The Last Jedi.
There's no
just out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever.
There's no more hero's journey anymore.
At least not in the sense that it's understood by the filmmakers and the storytellers at hand.
Well, no, they're so caught up in like destroying everything from the past because we're all evil, we're all racist, sexist, bigot, whatever's, and they have to like go through and pick apart everything they can and disgrace and they want to steal it. They don't have anything of their own, so they need something that they can be entertained by and something that they can like go and post on social media about, but they can't associate it with us, so they have to like create this division in the fandoms and in the stuff, like every time there's an old character, they need to disgrace them, they need to discredit them, they need to get rid of them, they need to show how bad they were and how, well, see, that wasn't good anyway though, so this new is better. And it's just like the latest version of an iPhone. Every one of these movies is coming out like a latest version of an iPhone for these people.
Yes, everything has to be the bestest ever. It's better than everything ever was before. It goes back to all the same arguments we get in the comments where it's like, oh, you just don't like it because it's a new Trek and it's because you're old and you want it the same old thing over and over. No, it's not that I want the same old thing over and over. It's the rules. There's rules. There's reasons why something is something. Once you start changing what Star Trek inherently is at its heart, it's not fucking Star Trek. Same thing with Star Wars. There were rules in place. Even fucking Lucas fucked with those rules, and that's the reason why people were like, fuck this noise when they got to the fucking prequels.
So I stand by Gary Kurtz being the unsung hero.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of unsung heroes in the original trilogy, and as time goes on between the prequels and these new movies, my love for Star Wars is waning. Even though I'll sit there and say these movies are great. And somebody earlier in the chat said, "Is it bad?" Billy Barnett, I think it was. Is it bad that you liked The Last Jedi? No, it's not bad that you liked The Last Jedi.
No, it's not. No.
Fine. But there's a difference between liking something and objectively knowing that there's bad things in it or illogical things in it. Because I love a lot of shit that's horrible. And I know there's shit that's wrong with it. But there's stuff in it, and I'll tell you why I like it if you ask me about something specific. And Mecca knows what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to like B movies and shit. It's like even horror movies and whatever. There's just so much shit about you know exactly how they're gonna end. You half the time can predict who's gonna die and when, but there's certain elements about them that you love and you can gravitate towards. It's the same thing with Star Wars. And as much as people griped about The Force Awakens being like the original Star Wars, I almost want to turn around to a lot of those people now and say, look what happened. This is a direct result of you guys saying this shit. I hope you realize that, because now they went and gave this kid the reins to do whatever the fuck he wanted to subvert our expectations and make something that isn't even Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just somebody's bad fan fiction that's halfway to something new that isn't even Star Wars.
Just dawned on me, did George Lucas ever make a comment when Gary Kurtz said a couple months back, or did he just say nothing?
I don't think he said anything. I'd have to look for sure.
If he said nothing, then what a bastard.
I don't know. I know they weren't exactly on the best of terms though either. So
yeah,
no idea.
That probably is the case. It's like I remember he had once like a 20-page interview with IGN, and he really kind of let it into George.
But just to that was my big rant for the moment. But I don't have a problem with people liking something. It's when they don't allow others not to like something, or when they know something is obviously objectively bad, not at least admitting it has flaws. It's as simple as that. Yes, Jaws is probably to me the greatest movie ever made. Does it have flaws? Oh fuck yes, it has flaws.
It's like with you people, it's like you don't like Beauty and the Beast near as much as I do, and I admit it's not. Okay, I say it's a perfect movie all the time, but of course I know technically it's not. But I get it.
Now, morality says, TLJ would have sucked if it was more of a ripoff. It still would have sucked. I'm not saying it would have had. I'm not saying that The Last Jedi. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying The Last Jedi would have been better if it would have been just a ripoff of Empire. There's ways you can play with the Star Wars formula, subvert expectations, do something unique and new, and it still feel like it's in that same universe. And that's what I was kind of getting to. The same thing with Star Trek Discovery and all these other franchises that they're fucking with. And it can be done. Look at, even though I didn't care for it, look at Halloween, look at Cobra Kai, look at some of these other franchises that have been able to actually do this shit.
It's sad. There was actually a successful subversion of Star Wars. It was called Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Actually, you know what? Cobra Kai subverts your expectations because now they're telling the story from Johnny's perspective.
Right. And not only that, they fuck with the tone a little bit too. They made it a little bit more of a comedy.
They made Johnny more of a good guy, and they made Daniel kind of more.
But they
of an
still
asshole.
took it seriously. They did not make fun of itself in a sense that it was poking fun at Karate Kid. It just poked fun at the fact that these people are older, and they
Yeah.
were kind of in on the joke. But at the same time, they took they took the character seriously. They took all the events in the past seriously, even the ones that people didn't like, and that's what matters to fans. It's like, yeah, we may not agree with everything, and sometimes you can kind of shift gears and change things a little bit. But acknowledging things in the past and why characters are the way they are is what brings the love out of these franchises from people, especially Cobra Kai is a great example. And I can't wait for the second season because we've gotten such great shit from the first season where I was like, I couldn't believe how much shit they were pulling from the third movie because everybody hated the third movie.
I kind of like the
it's-
third movie.
So
I
is-
liked it, but it was like, it's the lesser of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
So what, in the next season, are they going to start referencing Karate Kid 4? Is Hilary Swank going to show up?
Doubtful.
I think that's the only one they'll probably leave alone because there is absolutely no reason to.
Yeah, no, even less people like that movie than the third one.
I mean, at least there's a reason to acknowledge the second, especially the third movie in a sense, because all the connections that have to do with Martin Kreese and everything else that, they have to be dealt with. And that's what Andre and I and Robin were talking about on the roundtable is like, we're interested to see in the second season because we know that the franchise rights were bought up in the third film. That was a prominent part of the storyline. So I'm sure that's going to come into play here in the next season as well.
Hopefully they can make Daniel's kid less of a shit.
Well, Daniel's kid's just kind of there. She was like,
Yeah, she didn't really have a lot to do.
well, yeah, Rivers said that Hilary Swank's character exists because it happened with Mr. Miyagi. But since Mr. Miyagi isn't on the show, you'd have to make a big stretch to have
Yeah,
her,
I don't think Daniel
Contradicts
ever
her,
would have
but
met
no one's
her.
going to mention her.
unless they have like some ceremony where they're like celebrating the life of Mr. Miyagi and she shows up. That's the only thing I could see.
That would be so much of a stretch. You're more like you get like Elizabeth Shue cameo.
Well, and that's where, even Andre was saying, that he thinks it's a stretch that we think that Elizabeth Shue would show up. And we're like, no, I don't think so.
Oh no.
We think that's going to be the thing that's going to bring those two together, actually, because it kind of set up in this first season where they're kind of looking at each other like, is this really what we've been fighting about all this time? And it's like, you kind of need that final nail in the coffin, whether it's you see her, she grew up to be some stuck up bitch or something like that, or it's,
You need that closure. You do. You need that chapter being put to rest between the two of them. You need to look at each other and say, "What do we see? What do we see in her?" I don't know,
Exactly.
man. What? Yeah.
What was 3 months worth for all 30 years?
Nope. Since Back to the Future had a marathon last night, Rob, Leah Thompson, or Elizabeth Shue?
Push. The advantage push. Everybody wins.
I got to go with that, I guess.
I'll take her over Claudia Wells. No offense to her, just
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I was one of those people who did not even fucking notice until video. So
me neither. Like that doesn't really speak well to her, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's Leah Thompson. There's just a more kind of girl next door appeal to her.
Well, I guess if I had to pick one if Leah Thompson's in there, I guess Leah Thompson.
I'd go with her. I do love the that is the sole reason this movie never went to Disney is her character.
Really?
Oh,
It
yeah,
wasn't-
they said it was too much incest.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh,
It was they went to Fox and they went, "This is too much for kids. Go to Disney." Disney went, too much of a subplot about the mom wanting to bang the kid. So no, let's send it to Universal.
Universal. It got released through Universal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a great. Let me tell you, that is probably one of the best scores from Alan.
That's the
Silvestri.
short version of that story, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than that, but
Well, Sid
I-
Sheinberg's the reason it got made. Spielberg, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love the score by Alan Silvestri. I mean, because Alan Silvestri, one of the great underappreciated composers.
I agree to a
composers.
point, but he's one of those that sometimes his scores can sound an awful lot alike.
Oh yeah. But at the same time, though, I mean, he like you said, you don't think of it as this way, but the score for Back to the Future, it makes it sound like it's an adventure movie, and it is. I mean, he's setting up it's an adventure through time, and when you hear the end theme for Captain America, if you don't know who Captain America is, you never heard of Captain America, you had no inkling, didn't know what he looked like, didn't know the backstory, everything. You heard that theme. I'm like, okay, this guy's a hero. I don't know, but he's a hero. I just know he's a hero.
I will agree too. Also, that the scores outside of a few Marvel scores and random ones here and there just aren't what they used to be back in the day. Because even guys like Danny Elfman are phoning it in anymore.
Yeah, can we just call it the Randy Newman effect? Because every Randy Newman song kind of sounds about the same.
Fat man with kid and dog.
Friendship and toys.
The little guy knows I like him even though I hate short people.
Yeah.
You got
no
a
reason
friend.
to live. Actually, Randy Newman he did write one of the better scores. He wrote the score for the Natural.
Yeah.
Which is actually very great. It's chill inducing. But I had a teacher actually said to me he hated the movie The Natural because you knew he was going to hit a home run, and win, and you knew and I said to him, don't you want to see that? Don't you want to see Robert Redford hit a home run?
Did he also say I knew Rudy was going to get into Notre Dame?
Yeah.
But that's not even the point of that movie. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's kind of like with Rocky. It's like the Rocky effect. It's like, oh, the difference will subvert their expectations and they won't win. Or like with the Bad News Bears. The point is, it's not the point that they didn't win.
They got there in the first place.
Exactly.
Yes.
People miss that point too. And that kind of feeds into what we were saying earlier about kids nowadays and these NPC/SJW, whatever you want to call them, keyboard white knights, whatever, who don't understand the movies that they're fighting against. And it's like, you guys don't understand. It's not what you're thinking. Like the Kiss the Girl one is the like height of stupidity, but yeah.
They're so fixated on irony that they
don't understand it.
That they don't understand. They don't understand the meaning of the word. What they don't understand that because you have a downer of an ending, that doesn't mean it's deep or introspective or subverting your expectations. All that means is you're nihilistically. You think that, oh well, I don't care, so you shouldn't either. That's not subverting expectation. That's nihilism.
What's next? These fuckers are going to go after Citizen Kane. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Frias, the 1776, can disagree with me on film, but Hans Zimmer score to Man of Steel was epic. Probably the best score in comics. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sorry, I can't agree with that one. I'm not a big Hans Zimmer fan.
Actually, Hans Zimmer, he wrote the theme for The Critic.
So his older stuff, yes. His newer, later stuff, not so much.
Blah.
You forgot the drums.
Blah. Hello, I'm Superman. Blah.
Amusing point. I was reading the AV Club had an interesting article about.
Okay. You're talking deep, so you needed some music there.
Yeah, about the history of like action movies, and they were talking about just how radically different Rambo 1 and 2 are. And so, imagine this in the modern day. It's like, okay, we have, again, pick a movie out of my head, like American Sniper, and then the sequel comes out 5 years later, and the American government's able to resurrect Chris Kyle, and he's going to now destroy ISIS with, like, I don't know, 2 bullets. It's like that level of, like,
score for him.
I know. It's like, Rambo is such a, serious and, like, introspective, and the second movie is just so brain dead. I love both of them, but they're so different.
The first movie is very good. The first movie is great. And that's actually based on a book, actually.
Yes, the book. Yeah. I forget who wrote that book, though. I hear the book's actually radically different from the movie. Like, he apparently goes out of his way to murder the cops.
In Rambo, yeah.
Yeah, the book.
Anyway. He goes, like, full-on psycho in the book. But, no, I'm sorry. John Williams' Superman score is probably one of the, if not the best scores of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Someone make a point though. It is a little bit similar to Indiana Jones, but who cares? They're both amazing.
I don't care. And it even has similarities with songs in the past. Same thing with Star Wars, but that's probably a close second.
It's like, could you imagine? Okay, because there was a talk for a while about having that song appear in Man of Steel. Could you have imagined that?
It wouldn't have fit. I'm sorry. I hate Man of Steel. I get people who like it. It's a very well-made movie, and there are some very cool moments and visual effects in that film. And there were some shots of Superman that I've always wanted to see, but it's one of the worst Superman movies ever made. I don't give a fuck. And on Patreon, I have a script doctor's thing that I was going to do that I never did.
I saw it.
Yeah. And it's just a few little things I did to fix Man of Steel that would have made it a Superman movie.
It's like I'm just imagining like Superman. He's punching through buildings. He's causing 9/11 times 100, and they're still playing.
Exactly.
It's like,
and then he's gonna kill Zod over the Brady Bunch. It's like, Bucko, what about those 10,000 people that just fucking died? What about them?
It's like entire generation just turned to ash. But you gotta save Marsha Brady.
Say, Rob, are the people who in support of nihilism are emos in disguise? No, they're full-fledged emos. But actually, Man of Steel, you actually brought up a good point. I mean, that's
fucking
kind
nihilist, man.
Do you think that's where this modern kind of movie making really began? Was with Man of Steel, trying this whole deconstruct. I mean, yeah, it happened before.
Really?
Well, no.
Okay,
Man of Steel is
you're
trying
right.
to beat Dark Knight.
You're right. Well, yeah, that too. But no, Rob is right, because you get to the point in Batman versus Superman is the whole like kind of where Man of Steel was leading to. And where he basically has the attitude of, I don't want to be fucking Superman, but I have to be. That's not what you want your Superman to feel like.
God, I'm happy Christopher Reeve didn't have to live to see this.
But am I wrong? Because that's kind of that look he's, given what he says. Not everybody stays good forever. And that's exactly what he's fucking saying to the audience. I'm Superman and I don't want to be, but I will be.
I'm tired of these stupid humans trying to kill each other. Blah 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 blah.
When he's got that Soyuz capsule, he's holding like, oh, for God's sake, I'm always having to bail you people out of your shit. Would you please get this together? Yeah, it's exactly when the Senate building blows up. Oh, for God's sake, you people! Why do you got to drag? He's got this look. Why do you got to drag me into your shit? Yeah.
Well, Christopher Reeve got it. Whether you hate the movies or you can pick them apart and find stupid shit in the old Superman movies, one thing you cannot argue is Christopher Reeve understood who Superman was.
There was no cynicism to be found in those movies.
No, he understood that Superman seen people as a very fragile but beautiful race of beings that he cared so much about that he would do anything he could for them, especially because of his parents.
Remember.
And Clark is his view on what he sees people as very clumsy and, fragile, but all good-hearted and, and stuff like that. He totally got it, but I don't know what the fuck this Man of Steel is.
Remember the bit from the Fortress of Solitude? They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. All they lack is the light to show them the way. It is for that reason I have sent them you, my only son.
Well, and it's a Jesus analogy. Don't get us wrong,
it is a Jesus,
but it's the point.
It's not as bad as Zack Snyder did it. And when he goes to the church is really bad.
But but that moment right there says, you know what? Jor-El, he didn't just select this planet at random. He knows he sees something in humanity that he's saying there is an innate goodness in humanity, and my son is going to serve as an example to them.
Well, and Fan Art Exhibit brings up MOS was a cynical interpretation of Superman, questioning the value and character of his dated view of the world. And that's just it. His view isn't necessarily dated per se. They got that with the 70s Superman. All you do is update the world around him. Superman doesn't change. There's a reason why he's called Superman.
Do what Captain America did. Captain America's character remains the same, but of course,
he's not. No, but there's a reason for that because he's to comment on the times. But Superman inherently at his heart, that's just it. He's a good-hearted being. He's supposed to be a stand-in for Jesus to give people hope, to show
Jesus
people the
created
way.
by two Jewish kids.
He's
I always
supposed
saw
to
him as
basically
like
be
a
perfect.
I always saw him as this like goody Boy Scout sort of clean cut, all
There
American.
is that to it, yes.
Yeah,
But
and yeah, and that's kind of what I don't get in any of these newer movies is like they don't seem to get this going out of their way to help a little old lady across the street sort of vibe that Superman gives off.
Okay,
to
could you
get
imagine
the
Zack
kitty out
Snyder?
of the tree thing, yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him trying to film a scene of Superman getting a kitten out of a tree? He probably throws it through a window and it's horribly mauled, and he gives it to the person's like, "Here, take it. I don't care."
But it's that moment where he gets the kitty out of the tree that makes you smile and you say, "Yeah."
Well, that's where he gets Superman, yeah.
It's like, I was told that when they premiered, Superman in New York in 1978, it's like, oh, people were cheering when he comes out and saves the people from the falling building, and everyone's going, "Yeah, Superman."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Wesley crushed her. Hi, all. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Wesley.
Like, Merry Christmas to you too.
Wesley crushed her too. Well, that's some Pornhub shit right there. I'll tell you what.
Old Man Picard, I'm sure you must love that scene in Into Darkness with the underwear with Alice Eve.
I go into darkness every opportunity I can.
Yes, or is that your pet name for Uhura?
Well, sure. I look at it this way: as old as I am, who gives a fuck what I catch?
When they try to arrest you, you'll just drop dead.
I'm so old. It'll probably be like, fuck it, it ain't worth it. And just go away.
It's like how Angela Lansbury can get away with actually mocking all the movies she's worked on because she's like 95. Well, who's going to stop her?
I stopped her once.
Like,
Stopped her up good for a week.
It's like, you made love to everyone's favorite granny.
That was Betty White, but she was pretty wild.
We need to have like a granny off, like Betty White versus Angela Lansbury.
Betty White would win.
Yeah, I was gonna say Betty White's gonna win.
But don't you know?
Good. Betty
Jessica
likes it rough.
Fletcher. Don't you know Jessica Fletcher is a serial killer? Like, the internet tells me this.
You haven't been reading those film theories, have you?
No. Just every time I read about Murder She Wrote, everyone always says, "Don't you know she killed everybody? Because there's no way the murder rate in this small town could be this high." I'm like, it's a TV show. Please shut up.
Suspend your disbelief.
Well, I'm from the future, and I will tell you the truth. Yes, she did it.
Yes. Old Man Picard, did you ever have a tryst with Angela Lansbury?
I just told you I stopped her up for a week.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that. You are old, man. You are old after all.
It's
That's
funny.
right.
Speaking of old, Angela Lansbury has never looked young to me. I swear, even when she was in her 20s, she looked middle-aged.
She's
did.
been playing middle age since she was in her 20s. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like when I was watching a Real Genius or whatever. Yeah, with Val Kilmer. Ed Begley Jr. has always looked like he's 40.
Yep.
Yes.
It's just
Prince Caspian, no, we haven't seen Aquaman or Bumblebee, but Mecca did see Aquaman.
Oh shit! I somehow forgot to mention all this. I could talk about Mary Poppins too.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you did see that.
Yes.
But Mecca liked Aquaman. She talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it was good.
Free us. If Superman were real, who would we decide to save? He can't save everyone. How guilty would Superman be when he couldn't save a child in Canada while a child in Poland dies? Well, you're getting into Zack Snyder territory.
Being too realistic here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
with
you
the
guys were
Billy-
right. Angela Lansbury does look old, or did look old when she was young. I think
she's
she looked pretty old.
She's a great actress, and I like her quite a bit. She just never looks super young.
Nope.
Actually, he confronts that very early in the Donner movie when his father dies.
Yeah, but by the way, that's why I hate that movie so much. Man of Steel. They missed the point of the dad dying so hard.
Yes, and that's one thing I really highlight in that video I did.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
like I said, that's the whole point of that situation is you have to have dad die of some natural cause that Clark can't stop.
Yeah,
Because he has to learn that lesson of you can't save everybody, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care, no matter how many powers you have. And that's going to be that it's a lesson that is very important for Superman to learn.
Instead, in this case, he went back to save the stupid dog from Independence Day and died because he's an idiot.
No, it's all right, son. I've lived long enough for one.
I don't know. A fan art exhibit. You have a point. If it was a real life Superman, depends on who raised him.
Mhm.
In a lot of ways, because that is a very huge part and point of who Superman and Clark Kent are at their heart. And when you got Dad saying, you know, when he goes, "Oh, should I just let him die?" I don't know, maybe.
Like what a prick.
It's basically what it would be like if Homer Simpson was fucking Superman's dad.
Fuck them. Fuck those kids.
Do what you want, son. I just want to go get a beer.
Well, that actually is more in character, though.
Oh, you're in your problems. I'm an alien.
You know, for that, this Zack Snyder movie would have made so much sense if it was like an adaptation of Red Star, where Superman went to, like, I don't know, Soviet Union.
Right, and they have played with that in the past. Yeah.
Do you ever see the SNL sketch? What if Superman were raised in Germany? He's got a big U with the umlauts over his over the U. I am Uberman.
Yeah.
What's funny because a lot of people have noted that Superman was a term that was used constantly by Nietzsche in his Ubermensa stories, but I don't think Jerry Siegel actually knew about that when making him.
Yeah.
Or
Frederick
they were doing
Nietzsche,
it
yeah.
Or they were trying to own it, or and fuck it over, they were trying to piss him off by using it.
Well, I guess because they were two Jewish teens and co-opting.
Get what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, originally Superman was a bad guy.
Yeah, in the old 1930s like cartoons, like he's a big bald guy that's like a homeless man that became a monster.
More in common with Lex Luthor, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, very much so. I'm pretty sure that's where the idea came from. Like, let's go back to that old design, just take him and use him as a bad guy.
The Ubermensch, superior man, justifies the existence of the human race. Superman is term significantly used by Friedrich Nietzsche, also used also in Sprach Zarathustra.
Also, yeah, the Strauss.
The Ubermensch, yes.
Right.
The superior man, the fully realized human.
Which, yeah, is a bit, the Nazis did co-opt that a little bit, so...
Again, though, I think if anything, if they were trying to just kind of flip them off. But
well,
you never know.
What a sad story about those people that they never ever really controlled Superman, and their descendants will not either.
Well, they get back a few. They got back a few things here recently.
I think that got overturned in the courts.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Like they briefly won for a moment, and then the courts went, "We're gonna retry that," and of course DC won.
Well, Superman will be public domain here in about 10 years, ain't it?
I think that'll be interesting.
Yes, that's correct. Fan art exhibit. Superman is supposed to represent the best of us, which is something Snyder seemed to forget. And that's just it. If he wanted to do that with another character or something like that, it'd have been fine. Snyder would have been more at home with Batman. And I've said that before. And that's why I think Batman was the only good character in Batman v Superman, even though he is
okay, to be fair,
killer.
If they had let Snyder do everything he wanted with Batman, it probably wouldn't have turned out well either.
Potentially. Goyer's a big part of it too.
Didn't Goyer say, or Snyder, who said it? They wanted Batman to be raped in prison? Snyder, yeah.
No, I think he was saying it more of a. I don't know if he meant that literally though.
I don't remember the quote context.
I think he was kind of. I was going to say, to not sticking up for him, but I think he was more or less just kind of saying the real, getting to the realistic.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Also, have anybody ever tried to listen to a Zack Snyder commentary track? It is the absolute worst commentary I think I've ever heard in my life.
No, Snyder in art exhibit. You're right. Snyder is not a good storyteller. He's a great visualist.
Yes, he is good at visuals, and he's like George Lucas. Do the visuals and nothing else, please.
He probably would have had a better career as well, he's had a great career as a director. Don't get me wrong. I can't take that away from him. He's made it. He's done it. He's Zack Snyder. But he probably could have been if he would have stuck with something like cinematography or something like that, maybe he would have been a much, like, winning all kinds of Oscars and shit, much more successful in a way that was more respectful, I was trying to say.
Yeah, you notice the movies that he did not write are the ones that he did better. Like, he did not write the remake of what was it? The Dawn of the Dead remake? That was James Gunn who wrote it.
Right, but I don't know how much he really... That's the thing. Because I know Goyer is one of those. He's a fuckstick, and I don't know why he's
Goyer.
Got a job, but...
Yeah, that's a man where I'm like, I don't know why this man has so much credentials, because he's a terrible writer. They should have figured that with Blade Trinity.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't get it with Goyer because he happened to write on one of the best Blade movies. I don't think that was his fault, though.
No, he was part of Blade Trinity, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm saying, though. He could go to show prove my point. I think Blade 2 had more to do with Guillermo del Toro than it did with him.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Is basically in a roundabout way.
He can say it's like I was on the Dark Knight, and then
that's Nolan.
Yeah, and then with Dark Knight Rises, like, well, maybe that was more him.
Well, Nolan wasn't. His heart wasn't in that one. And the Rookie Critic, thank you so much for the $2. Merry Christmas, you guys. Hi to the hail. Speaking of, that reminds me, Rob, after the show here, we got to do our voices real quick for the Rookie Critics deal because that's got to be done by tomorrow morning.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we got to get that done. He needs a little video from us.
Yeah, it's right. I didn't mention myself about Mary Poppins 2. I would say it real quick. Did you see Mary Poppins 1? You've seen Mary Poppins 2?
Didn't I say it was going to basically just be an updated version of the original, just so they could?
It's the only what's funny. If you change a few lines, you could actually call it a remake. It is so on the border.
That's what I was figuring. Outside of the fact that it's the kids now grown up, everything else is going to be the same.
It is exactly the same, down to like the same plot line. Down to they have bank problems again, and he hates his job again, and he doesn't believe in anything again.
Like, didn't they also, from the review I saw of that, didn't they also pretty much kind of do sound-alike sort of copycat songs at the same kind of, here's where Step in Time will be. And
there's new songs that are kind of similar, but they're obviously not as good. They have a big dance number that tries to be Step in Time, but, Hollywood dancing is not like it used to be in the 60s. I'll just say that.
No. Also,
there is one amusing bit that stuck out to me where Emily Blunt kind of pole dances for 30 seconds. You have to see this shit to believe it. It's like she's supposed to do like the dancing on like a lamp, kind of like singing in the rain, but she does it a lot sexier than it should come off as.
Hello.
Okay.
It's the thing that stuck out to me is like one of the strange things where I'm like, that did someone double check how that take came out? Because that's a bit weird.
No, but we're glad he didn't.
Joshua Nystrand, do you think Michael Keaton will eventually return to the Batman franchise?
No.
Well, he might play like the mayor in some Batman movie down the road or something. But if there's ever a chance or a shot in hell that they do a quote unquote Tim Burton version of Batman Forever as an animated version, I could see him doing the voice, but that's like a shot in the dark that'll never happen. We'll get the Superman Lives animated before we get that.
One man can hope. It's like Cage, he'll do it. I mean, doesn't he still own that Superman issue 1, I think? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He owned issue 1 of Action Comics, and then someone in a party stole it, and then he got it back a couple years ago. Because Cage movies are exactly like Cage's life.
To Action Comics #1.
It's like if you just read the things that Nicolas Cage owns in his house, it sounds like something out of his own stupid movies. I mean, he owns a Shrunken Head. He owns the Action Comics
from a house.
He had a skeleton of a T-Rex that was like stolen from a museum, and he owned like the most haunted house in New Orleans.
Oh man!
Like random. I'm sure you know who this is. He owned the Madame Lalaurie estate, the lady who tortured like slaves back in the 1850s. Yeah, he never slept in it and flat out said, "I just own it because it's cool."
Yes, that's a good reason.
Yeah, This is why he's poor.
I think John Hamm would make a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
he would have been a good replacement for Ben Affleck if they continued that storyline.
If John Hamm was younger and British, I'd be okay with him as James Bond. I love John Hamm.
DJD Show, thank you so much for the $1 donation. How you doing? Oh, so what do you guys say? It's midnight in the mountain areas, so
it's 2 a.m. in my area.
Hey,
2 a.m. in my world.
That means it's almost bar time for Rob.
Closing time.
Okay, guys. Well, let's say we wrap this up because it's like
I was thinking so. Yeah, we've been on for about 2 hours, even though we got a great crowd hanging in there.
Yeah, how many people are in the chat? How do you?
We got about 118, 116.
118 people that have no families.
Or they're trying to get away from them.
Or getting away from them.
Well, the kids are in bed. Santa's showed up. It's time for the parents to relax and the older people to relax, or people who don't have kids. And
it's like you can find something better to relax to, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure they will after we're done here.
24 hours of A Christmas Story. Okay, if you like what we do here, everybody, thank you for joining us. And if you like what we do here,
Oh,
click the
sorry.
like.
I have one thing I'm going to mention for random because you might find this amusing. I just got a book about the history of the Hammer film series, and they have
Oh, nice.
tons and tons of exclusive photos. And there's about 20 really, really good photos of Ingrid Pitt.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, you can get like so many awesome ones online of her, but she's very photogenic.
Yeah, Rob, you know who that is, right?
Who?
A woman named Ingrid Pitt. She was in a lot of the Hammer horror movies, and
You'll like her.
just Google her real quick before you go.
Ingrid Pitt.
Well,
Yeah.
Pitt. She's in one of the all-time best lesbian vampire movies.
Oh,
Yeah, one
okay.
of my favorites, The Vampire Lovers.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
You like her.
Hello. Oh, she's holding a little black cat. Oh, ooh, that's very sexy. Hello, nurse. Oh, here we go. Oh.
Yeah,
hello.
check out The Vampire Lovers. You don't like horror, but you might like the vampire lesbian stuff. So
Or
Okay.
Countess Dracula, because it's her basically
Yeah.
an Elizabeth Bathory story. Not as good as you would want, but I'll take it.
Okay then.
Yeah, I just want to mention that. I'm like, oh, she's a very, very beautiful woman.
Yes, she is. Most definitely. Okay, everybody. Apart from my porn preferences. If you like listening to Rob's porn preferences, and people recommended me adult oriented material, click the like button, head over, click subscribe, click the bell icon, head over to the main channel, click subscribe, click the bell icon over there. We got a couple new mini docs up there for you. You can head over to Patreon. Patreon
yesterday.
Yes, the
Maybe
DC,
today, but yesterday.
the
Whatever.
abandoned DC movies one. Like I said, head over to Patreon if you really like the show. Patreon supporters can get all kinds of bonuses, early access to new videos, uncut audio, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, making of the Edge videos, and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. If you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, click subscribe, click like both channels, and click the bell icon and share with your friends. Let the ads run, because as always, we cannot do this without you. Isn't that right? Random, tell them about your channel.
I'm Mecha Random 42. I complain about stuff. Except for today, I'm happy for the Orville coming back video today, but
Yeah.
yeah, I complain about a lot of stuff like Star Trek Discovery and the Last Jedi and those sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have Twitter, Patreon, PO Box. What else do I have? I'm here all the time, and we do the horror podcasts on Wednesdays.
Yes. Tyler, tell them about yourself.
Well, I'm Tyler Bioshock. Oh, God, I'm missing myself already. Never mind. I write stuff for Midnight's Edge. I have a lot of fun doing it. I moderate stuff on the forum, so if you ever go around there, you'll find me pretty quickly. And I have my own little podcast called the Peanut Butter Podcast, where it's like an even more loose version of this.
Is that even possible?
Yes.
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
I owe you
Yes.
two already.
It's literally anything goes for 2 hours. The only thing that ever is in common is that we start off joking about peanut butter, and we mention Tom Green at some point.
Well, you can't mention peanut butter without mentioning Tom Green.
I know, it's a truly, truly impressive combo.
Daddy, would
Okay.
you like some sausage?
We do that every episode, I swear.
My bum is on him. And my bum is all alone. My bum is all alone. My bum is all alone. Get the poo off my bum. My bum is on the cheese. My bum is on the cheese. So
My
anyway,
kid is like Tom Green. Oh my god.
He's not that bad a
Oh,
guy.
no.
He's not that bad a guy.
my brother Dave asked me one time, what happened to Tom Green? I'm like, who cares? Like, jeez.
The best story about him was 2 years ago when apparently he paid off some guy who had rented like Freddy Got Fingered from like the library for 15 years, and they finally found the guy.
Well, for
Yeah, not
Pete's
sure.
sake.
Not sure if you want that on your record.
I know, it's like the library track you down for having a copy of Freddy Got Fingered for 15 years, and I'll
My
charge
question
like
is, why the
500
fuck does the library have a copy of Freddy Got Fingered? That's my question.
Somebody probably donated it.
someone
I'm
left it
sure,
over.
so.
Someone left it there, and they just went put it in the corner. And
They abandoned it at the library.
Probably because they got some or they got some video stores left over stock after they went out of business.
I can't
I
even
think
say
a
it was
lot
like,
of people like they can't sell their stuff, so they just drop it off at the library.
Yeah, they donate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even say it's like it was a Canadian like close. Like no, it was like Georgia.
No, but it's true though, because I mean, I've talked to my local librarian about it because I noticed, I'm like, Jesus, movies are taking over most of the library. And she's like, oh yeah, If it wasn't for the movies, we'd probably be closed.
My library's got like 30 copies of Frozen.
All
is
right,
what it
guys.
is.
All right, guys. Like I said, if you like what we do here, subscribe, like, donate.
Support your local library.
Support-
Go rent Freddy
yeah.
Got Fingered.
Yeah, support your local library. But let me tell you, look, your local library has a lot of stuff. I mean, the old newspapers. I mean,
CDs.
CDs.
That too,
Exactly. Yes.
Some Linda Lovelace movies.
That's how we
Yes.
used to listen to music, folks.
Yes, on CDs. And before that, cassettes, and before that, vinyl.
Yeah.
And
Is it-
we actually used to go to places where we would listen to the artist play it for us.
I still do that.
Yes, imagine that. So
With
anyway,
with libraries, would they ever carry like, I don't know, Deep Throat or anything like that? Have you ever known a
No.
library to do
Well, I'm
that?
sure. Well, in some cases, maybe that's old enough now. It's probably.
Probably passe.
historical significance. Yeah.
Not in Utah.
Oh, I'm sure you're allowed if you're like over 18.
I think libraries in Las Vegas they carry it.
Because I've known libraries to carry like Playboys and shit too.
Actually, when I was in Vegas, I used to rent or check out like all the CDs when I was filling my iPod, the first iPod I had. So I would just check out just a stack of CDs to rip.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's not piracy. You're just ripping them, right?
Yeah.
Local
Technically, you're not.
library.
All right, kids. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us.
And then
Have
we got
yourself
the
a
Rob
good.
police.
Yeah.
You're not paying for them, so it's still piracy.
Yeah, I don't have that
Rand,
iPod either.
And you were going to the dildo museum next door. Come on.
Orko, tell them what we learned in this episode. I learned that if I pirate music, I'll go to jail.
Hmm.
There really is
okay.
I'm not kidding too. When I went to Vegas, we went by the dildo museum like twice. I couldn't stop laughing.
I never saw that when I was there. What that might have been newer after I left. I don't know.
There you go, Rob. Put that one on your list.
See, that's what we need to do with the porn podcast.
Dildo Museum. And you got ask Nina Hartley if she's ever been to the Dildo Museum.
No, just like have like a live from the dildo museum, like a.
The funny thing is, they have probably stuff like the original prototype Ulysses model, or this is the 1970s most popular model, and the one
Thomas Edison probably made the first vibrator, I bet. No,
probably. Well,
it was actually probably, I think it was
funnily
a
enough,
doctor.
I think that's from the 20s because that's female hysteria was a thing. It's like we know how to prescribe
I
this.
think it was a doctor,
Yeah.
Okay. All right, kids. It's late.
We always veer off into another direction before Rob gets to go.
Yeah,
It's the best part.
I'm fading fast here, guys. So.
Yeah, and we got to do that voice thing real quick too. So,
Yes,
all right,
no.
take care, everybody.
Take
Merry
care,
Christmas, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas, everybody. If you don't celebrate, I mean, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. No drinking, no driving. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.